Welcome back to the Words from the Nerds podcast. Here, another week, another episode, another glorious conversation. Surely it should be with these fine gentlemen here. If you're new here, my name is Aiden. This is Ben and Charlie. We are the Words from the Nerds podcast. We're going to do some quick housekeeping since somebody has been forgetting
ball,
to,
man.
apparently.
I dropped the ball last week, man.
And so we are going to, we got 7 comments.
That's what Ben and I were talking about when you walked away.
Is it the conversation?
Yeah, it's a conversation between Brandon and somebody else. So probably just cover the basics of where it started. It was a short convo, so we could talk about the whole thing if you wanted to. But
yeah, we'll just kind of we'll see how it goes. We do have one comment that we have to backtrack all the way to our Fantastic Four episode. Strap in, Sax God at SAX God. Here, I'm gonna blow your minds. F4 First Steps is a Rise of Silver Surfer adaptation. They used almost the same story beats. Instead of a wedding, they're pregnant. Instead of Doom and the military being antagonists, the people of Earth start losing faith. And here's the most blatant ripoff of Rise of Silver Surfer. Instead of Sue Storm convincing Surfer to help them stop Galactus, Johnny Storm convinces Silver Surfer to stop Galactus. Now, does this reimagining of F4 Rise of Silver Surfer play better? Yes, it does. Of course, it has better CGI, and it literally has Galactus, not a cloud. But when writing a script and stealing from a previous movie and claim it's the first steps is embarrassing. So, gonna say this: wake me when F4 does something original and does not use stuff from the last 20 years. And then he goes into a tangent of the old X-Men movies and the X-Men properties and the Fox properties and how that kind of how that is the real Marvel and how that is what defines like we've just been playing around so far. Like here's Cap and Iron Man. All right, now here's the X-Men and everything. Of course, Marvel killed it and got my kids' generation and myself to love what they were doing. But as the last 15 or so films have showed, the B team is the B team for a reason. They eventually run out of gas. A teams like X-Men, Superman, Batman, Spider-Man never run out of gas. It's why Sony still hasn't let go of Spider-Man and its surrounding characters. Why Miles Morales will never be in the MCU, which I think he will be, but I get where he's coming from. Feige took the thrash of Marvel and made it gold, and then it was enough to get them bought, and then Disney did the unimaginable and bought Fox, which gave Marvel back its crown jewel. The last jewel being Spider-Man, of course. They will have to bend the knee to be able to use Parker, but it's better than nothing. So in 2030, when the X-Men finally come out, we can all rejoice that the true gold of Marvel is appearing. But between now and then, they have to have a proper send-off of what came before, then fade into white and reboot the universe. And when color comes back in, opens on mutants robbing banks, and S.H.I.E.L.D. is trying to corral them using Sentinels. That's the future I can't wait to get to. I will enjoy watching Doom burn what's left of the MCU down so that we get a fresh, lush garden in its place post Secret Wars. Now, some parts I do respect, and we brought this up and we talked about this with our topic last week and whatnot. And that is like the reboot. And will we ever get this feeling back? You know, will we ever get? And I believe so. And this is part of the reason why. It's because we still haven't seen. This might be like that to say we still probably have not seen Marvel at its peak, and that's with X-Men and everything that Sax God had mentioned there towards the end, where he's like, "This is fun. I'm still waiting." Like we still have people out there that are like, "I'm still waiting for the peak." Like this is great and all, but like I still feel like there's something coming, and that's enough hope for me. That's enough copium for me. We might. I'm not saying definitively we'll get back to those peaks, but I think there's still 1,000% things to grasp onto in the future.
Yeah, I would just push back on what he said about like the B team running out of steam. I think there's tons of more stories that can be told with the Avengers and yada yada yada. Obviously, I'm an X-Men lover as well. I'm super excited for what we're gonna see with them. As I said last week, like that's one of the, if I could in a perfect world, I would love an X-Men movie before Doomsday that wasn't focused on the Fox characters and whatnot. So
Yeah.
I not the greatest take, but thank you for the comment.
Yeah. Thank you a lot. So then our episode we posted last week with our big nerd court discussion, we got a couple of comments here. 2 comments and conversations branched off that. I'll try and be as fast as I can. MCU is fine. Stop expecting everything to be perfect. Just watch what you like and ignore the rest. And this is from at Wakanda Style.
That one, I just want to say, I don't think he watched. I think he just saw the thumbnail, commented that, and dipped out. Which, like, all right,
what a go! Hey, it's a G move. I respect it.
Yeah.
Dune's bag, either Dune's bag or Dune's. No, probably Dune's bag. Replied to him after that and said, "I'm assuming Wakanda Style is a man." Replied to them and said, that completely destroys the point of it being a connected universe. There needs to be a standard of quality for something like this. If you need to watch a lot of these projects to understand the next, they better be good or people won't watch, which just ends up to people becoming disillusioned, which this is a great point. If your stuff is not up to quality, but it needs like you have to have it flow one into the next. I think that's a big reason why people are just like, oh, Thunderbolts is out and people are saying it's good, but I haven't watched anything else. Like, whatever, it's fine. Like, I'll just watch it when it comes to streaming. Numbers tank. I think that's a great point that I don't think we touched on too much. We might have brought it up, but we never touched on too much.
Yeah,
So,
I've had thoughts about that. I want to say like box office numbers and stuff, especially with the Fantastic Four news from last week and everything. I think there's multiple things that go into that. Obviously, the conversation that we had last week about the MCU needing to be saved and the quality problem that they've had, I think that plays a part. But it's so expensive, to go to the movie theaters nowadays, especially if you have like a family of 4 and you got kids who want candy, popcorn, soda, etc. Stupid expensive to go. And if you want to see it in IMAX, forget it, bro. Forget it. I can't even do that. But B, also, these things drop on streaming within like 90 to 100 days after they come out. So it's like all someone has to do is wait 3 months and then they can watch it in the comfort of their own home, paying oftentimes less than a movie ticket if we're talking about IMAX, paying oftentimes less than a movie ticket just to pay for the 1 month of the streaming subscription to watch it right from the comfort of their couch. Like, there's so many different facets that go into this, but
on top of the fact that like even if you pay to rent a movie, you're paying $5 for your whole group to watch it versus, individually buying a ticket for each person.
Yeah. It sounds like we're shitting on movie theaters, but we all go to the movie theater like once a week. So all the audience, like, we love movie theaters. Sounds like we're shitting on them, but like truthfully, it's just not in a great spot. And that's why people aren't really showing up, I think.
Wakanda Style then replies to Dune's bag and says, no, it doesn't. There's a quality standard. It's just not the same as yours specifically. Most of this stuff is entirely skippable without losing much at all when it comes to being able to follow along the mainline movies. Disagree with that a little bit.
Only part I agree with is the TV shows to some degree. But
then
we talked about it in this episode.
Yeah, like even talking about Captain America: Brave New World, it's like clearly that's not up to the standard that we would set for Marvel, and that's a very crucial movie for where things are headed moving forward.
Yeah.
B. Woody, the wonderful Brandon, says, on the question, does the MCU still need to be saved? I think it does. And a big part of that is how do you get the general audience back in? It can't just be about quality anymore. Both Fantastic Four and Thunderbolts were really well received, but both have done really poorly in the box office. Do they just keep pumping out quality movies and hope the audience returns? Or is there some other solution like the reboot? And that's exactly what I was saying. I fully agree with that. And I was going to read
so real quick. I just wanted my rebuttal to that is just what we just talked about is like the box office numbers and people not showing up can be a multitude of reasons.
Dude, but that's all I think at some point this could be a whole separate discussion that we dive into because honestly, the last couple of years, it has pissed me off what has happened at the box office where you have movies like the Minecraft movie making like $1 billion and then like any of the new Pixar movies, which, I'll put the hand up. I'm not helping this either. Like their new movie, Elio, I didn't have any interest in going to watch it in theaters and I didn't. Yeah. But a movie like Inside Out 2 or Moana 2 will make $1 billion. There's such a weird thing happening surrounding the box office and what all goes into it, but definitely a separate discussion.
For sure.
Yeah. Wakanda Style then replies to Brandon, says everything does poorly in theaters now. Theater culture is basically gone since the pandemic. Most people just don't want to go to theaters anymore, especially since half of the world is in a recession. Brandon says everything does less is true.
I assume.
I think
everything does less is true. Okay, everything does less. Okay, that confused me for a bit. Everything does less is true, but a lot of this also because audiences have left. They'll maybe catch it on streaming. People turn out still for family films or big event movies. Numbers are down across the board for box office. Wakanda Style says no movies are pulling numbers like before 2020.
Dude,
and see, but that's not true though. Like everything that Ben just mentioned, like there are some movies that people show up to, but like
and there are
maybe they're not the rule, they're the exception, but still
there are some. But this is correct that if you look at the momentum of the box office up through 2019 had like, I forget what it was, if it was like 7 or 8 movies make over $1 billion, multiple make $2 billion between Star Wars, Endgame, Captain Marvel, Spider-Man, Toy Story, The Lion King. There was literally like 8 movies that made over $1 billion in that single year. And now that's a rare occurrence. Like, I mean, we kind of assume it's going to happen for Avatar. I think that might be one of the more telling things of where the box office is currently at, is just like, you think of Way of Water, that did over $2 billion, and there's so much hype built around that. I'd be interested to see if there's a big decrease from The Way of Water to Fire and Ash, but
because of like are you saying because Way of Water was like however many, like 10 plus years since the last one? Is that the hype that went into that versus like now we're talking about like a 3-year time gap?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a question of like an Avatar movie, which like, you know, at least historically, and obviously the gap is a factor that is hard to consider there, but historically that brings in crazy numbers. I mean, we're talking of, you know, that could rival the Marvel Cinematic Universe, even though there's, you know, there's only 2 movies, right? But they always do a crazy amount. So it's just like, can an Avatar movie that usually brings a lot of people to the theater, can it still carry the same momentum?
And see, because that's the thing, I wonder that as well. But the Way of Water came out in what, 2022, and like that's after the COVID times, you know. And so like
exactly, yeah. And there's other, like No Way Home is a good example, of course. Deadpool and Wolverine. You can have these big movies, but what is being pointed out is true, that like you can have a movie like Thunderbolts, and there's just something missing to just bring a lot of people to the theater to check it out. And it's probably, I mean, in that case, my theory with Thunderbolts is just like, it's a group of relatively unknown characters, and it's a Marvel movie when they haven't been doing great. If people are going to pull up to a Marvel movie nowadays, they're going to pull up for the heavy hitters like Spider-Man or an Avengers movie.
Yeah. Spider-Man's gonna pop off next year, man.
Spider-Man's
and that's what I was saying. Like Avatar and Ash and Brand New Day. I think Brand New Day, I told y'all, easily makes 700.
Billy.
I think
easy
it even
Billy,
like that's the floor for it. Okay, cool. We'll get into how these gentlemen are doing. I'll go first, that way I can get it out of the way. I feel like I maybe have like the most to say. First, pass my exam. So, you know, with that.
Oh, wait,
what the hell? Yo, he kept this secret from us. Yo, I found out. I have a Lego store here that's like locally owned and everything. They buy and then resell them, and they have a Going Merry set there. I almost sent a picture,
dude. So, audio listeners, I had told these guys if I passed my exam, I would let myself build the Going Merry. If I didn't, I wouldn't touch it until I passed it. And so I had been working on this for the past couple of days. Here's the thing. This is huge, dude. Like this
dude, the
is
box was
almost
big.
Like my shoulder to shoulder. It is huge. And it's only $150. Like this is possibly the best bang for my buck Lego set that I've ever owned.
That makes me think of this guy right here.
Dude, it's crazy. And like the details in here, like I don't know if you can like see, but there's like a doorway that goes in right here. It's kind of hard to tell. There is compartments and like insane details all around here. Like in all of these compartments. No reason that they had to include that at all, but like there's a whole kitchen, there's a whole storage area. Dude, such a fun time, and it's so like ginormous, dude, that I was just like, heck yeah, dude. So
Dude, they're coming out with a Black Pearl set later this year. It hasn't been like revealed or anything, but they're coming out with one of those, and I'm like, dude,
dude,
a big ship, just that's sick.
like, bro, and that's the thing. Like, I already love like huge pirate ships, and even before I started watching One Piece, I would always like want to look out for like pirate ship Lego sets, and like for them to like make one of the Mary, like, dude, this is a hefty son of a gun, and so. Yeah, dude, I finally got to put together my Going Merry. It was like hands down the most fun I've ever had building Legos. Yeah, it's such a moment. So yeah, that was really hard to keep from
the light
y'all.
illuminates the flag so well.
That's kind of
That's hard.
Good.
That's hard.
Let's go. Other than that, Ben, we're going through an edit renaissance on TikTok right now. I don't know if you know.
You're missing it, bro. You're missing it, man.
Have gotten some of the most insane like something is going on.
Like you're talking about like edits where trends have caught on for the style of edit or what?
Well, yeah, like the Creed edit with the Kendrick Lamar Untitled 5 song, like Did
you see that one, Ben? Bro, that's the one, Ben. That's the one.
We'll have to show you after because it'll get copyrighted. But
dude, is this like I can just look up like that one Creed edit?
Yeah, that one Creed edit, 100%, bro. 100%.
It's there. So we're going through an edit renaissance. It's been really fun. So that helped me watch all 3 of the Creed movies. So I did that this past week. Great, dude. I've come down on a lot of them. Actually, I was really high. Here's the thing. Creed 5 out of 5. Like that is a perfect movie. Creed 2, 3.5 stars. Still great. Creed 3, 4 stars. So like I didn't come down too much. I dropped all of them by like half a star maybe. But yeah, still great movies, still hold up. What was the other topic? On our way to Texas, to and from, I binge watched WWE Unreal on Netflix and Quarterback, 2 sports documentaries. Nobody's doing it like Netflix when it comes to sports documentaries. Those were fine pieces of media. It was really a really interesting watch, and they're just going to keep pouring all of these out. And so I really like what I figured I had to speak up on that. Like Netflix's sports documentaries are unlike anyone else's. On the topic of my trip to Texas, my parents wanted so bad, even though they've already seen all of these movies, wanted so bad to watch them with us for whatever reason, because they had just come onto streaming, and that's Death of a Unicorn and Final Destination Bloodlines. My 11-year-old sister was her and my mom were just watching Bloodlines, just like, and then she was like, "Can we watch it? Like, can you and Maddie watch it?" And so we were like, "Okay, fine, we'll watch it."
So and that was your first watch for both of them, right?
Yes, for both of those movies. And so Maddie hates gore, and my sister's like, "Just look. This is the part I'm talking about. Just look real quick. This one right here." And Maddie's like, "No, I'm not looking. It's the ring getting cut on the nails." And so that I watched,
dude. Okay, to be fair, like hand tendons getting torn, that gets me a little bit. Yeah,
it's rough. It's not. So yeah, I watched Death of a Unicorn, 2.5 out of 5 stars. Jenna Ortega needs to fire her agent. Bloodlines was a 3 out of 5. It's cool, you know, like, but at some point the gore is just gore, you know, and it's just like there's only so much you can do to make that concept interesting. So
I'll keep it brief. Do you agree? I think when I watched it, this is what I said about it when I gave my brief thoughts. But at some point, these movies are like, they're kind of like B action movies where the whole point that you go to watch it is for the action, and that's what keeps you entertained. Yeah. But in this case, the movie is just trying to entertain you with how creatively it can kill people, and at some point, that's like basically all it does.
That's just it. And like after the second like sequence, when the old lady is talking to the younger girl, after that sequence, I was like, all right, I've kind of gotten my fix. Like the movie peaked there. There was really nothing like that they could do after that would make me be like, oh yes, it would have only been, that's a cool kill, like whatever. And so and then other than that, I watched Happy Gilmore 2, which is 1.5 stars. It's a bad movie. It's a bad movie. Don't bother, please. And then movies we'll talk about later. Naked Gun and Together and Weapons. Also, last thing, this is the last bit of info, and I'm only saying this because I'm hitting the stride. I'm hitting the moment, and y'all have both watched Breaking Bad. The moment in Breaking Bad when Walt finally goes from like where you're like, oh, and I would say that moment for me is him shooting the gang members in front of Jesse and telling him run. And like that is when like that is hit not his first kill, but like that's his first, like I ran this dude over, I shot him, we're done. Dune Part 2, Paul Atreides at the end of the movie. I'm hitting that type of section with Eren Yeager in Attack on Titan. Oh my god. Like I just had to say it. I won't even delve any further. I'm hitting that stretch of the show and it's been fucking awesome. So that is what I've watched this past week. That's what I've been up to. Let's pass it over to Benja Movies. Hear what the boys been up to.
Dude, I watched a lot. I went to Indiana this past weekend, and so we watched a couple movies there. We watched Burn After Reading, the 2008 movie with
I do like it.
George Clooney, Brad Pitt. I still don't know how to feel. It's such a fever dream movie, and it's such a weird concept of like it's literally just the most like random little things and how they spiral out of control, and then a bunch of people end up dead, and it's all based on nothing. And then the movie just ends. And I was like,
it's weird.
I was like, I don't think I like this, but a lot of people really like it for some reason. Brad Pitt I loved him in that movie.
I love his little dance. So he's like,
what's his name? Chad or something in that movie. I think it actually is Chad. But I was surprised when it had like pretty dang good ratings on Letterboxd. But for me, 2.5 out of 5 stars. And then we also watched Drive, which I had never seen. I'd never seen Drive.
Never seen it?
No. Which was interesting just with the group that we were watching, because like Ryan Gosling's character, if you view that movie a certain way from the very beginning, you think that it's almost supposed to be a comedy, because he is always so like stone-faced. He gets asked a question and he just like doesn't answer, or he'll just like say okay when it's not a question where you would respond with okay. So it almost seems like satirical just how serious it is. But I really did like it. It was a crazier movie than I thought it would be. I didn't realize how wild it got towards the end, but I also loved it. And I didn't know that he said I drive multiple times, which is like
I drive.
The fact that is just like a real thing and not just, a meme. That I've used that image so many times of him just at the wheel. And so I'm glad to know that it's actually a thing that exists in the universe.
It's one of my favorite opening scenes in a movie ever. Like it's in my Letterboxd top 4, but like that song, I think it's called Nightcrawler. Oh my god, just like the like retro, like oh my god, it's such a good opening. I love that opening.
The opening was phenomenal. So 4 out of 5 stars. Okay. And then I also watched Naked Gun Together and Weapons, and then today I watched the first Ninja movie in preparation for Ninja 2 in a couple weeks here. Coming back to theaters.
It's a fine movie. I wouldn't be mad at you.
I did really like it. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed the animation style. It was like weirdly unique feeling to me, which I didn't really expect from it. And then like the action in it was really great, and I like the overall character arc of who Ninja is and how they tie that into the just storyline that he goes throughout the movie. I think the only issue I had with it was like the tone was a little weird, especially towards the beginning. Like a lot of the jokes were like really kiddish for me.
It has a lot of, and the second one also has quite a bit of toilet humor. I will say what separates the second from this one is that there is a definitive like lock-in moment that just like changes everything. So don't expect the toilet humor to stop with the second one.
Yeah. And I do think it found its footing better in like the second half of the movie. So I still gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. So I still definitely liked it. But I'm hoping that they really chefed it up for the second one.
I can't wait to see what you think, dude. Man, it's a gem. It's a gem.
IMAX 3D, baby.
Mr. Charleston, South Carolina. How are you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Nothing too crazy to report. I don't remember if I said this last week or not. I think I finished it this past week. I don't know. Prison Break. Finished Prison Break. I haven't really figured out another show to move on to next. But you know, other than that, saw Together and saw Weapons last night, and I also watched Twisters finally for the first time.
Ah.
Oh wow.
Pretty, you know, decent. It's a decent movie, I guess. It almost like reminded me of just, I don't know, weirdly enough, like the Transformers movies. Like, I don't know why, but like just in terms of quality, I don't know. Like great performances, David Cornsweet, you know, getting to see him be like a little bit more douchey rather than, you know, the hopeful Superman was nice.
like
and Anthony Ramos was good.
Did you like the Clark Kent joke?
I don't think that was it wasn't in the movie. I don't think.
What?
I think
Is
it's
it
a blooper.
deleted scene.
Yeah, I think it's a blooper. Yeah.
I think I saw it as an edit just, you know, a few weeks ago around the time that Superman was coming out.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that movie for like a year. So I wouldn't have connected, you know, a year ago.
Sure.
I would not have connected David Cornsweet being in that movie and him being Superman. So I thought that was in the movie.
No, I think it's a blooper.
Anthony Ramos just going, why is
Superman yelling? Why is Clark Kent yelling at me? Yeah, you're right.
Kind of pisses me
yeah,
off.
it was all right. You know, nothing crazy. I'm glad I watched it though. I feel like I don't see very many. What's her name? Daisy
Edgar Jones.
Daisy Edgar Jones. Thank you. I almost said
Ridley.
Daisy Ridley. Yeah, I was. But
Well, you
completely
don't
different
see much of
franchise.
her either.
That's true. Last thing I saw her in was it was like this Hatch movie about where you make babies in like this whatever egg thing. I don't know, whatever. But that's what I watched. Nothing else crazy. Oh, and The Summer I Turned Pretty, of course. You know, got to keep up with that. I was Team Jeremiah up to this point, but now I'm Team Conrad. Conrad has grown a lot. He's grown a lot.
I have to ask Maddie who her favorite is because
is she watching it?
I wanted to see. Yeah, I want to see.
You're missing out, bro. If you're not watching
Jeremiah or Conrad, really?
Jeremiah or Conrad. It's. I mean, like if you're into like the love story stuff, honestly, I think most of the fan base is more about like the girl's name that they're pining for. Her name is Belly. Most of the fan base is more just like, you know, honestly, Belly's kind of a piece of shit. Like I don't really know if I like Belly, and I think I agree with that. But you know, truthfully, I've switched sides now. Conrad has grown a lot, and so I think knowing most women were Team Conrad, and we're Team Conrad the whole time. But I thought Conrad was a whiny ass little bitch in the first 2 seasons, and now he's grown because there was a big significant time jump. So
okay, I texted her to see. We'll see whenever she gets back to me. She'll show me little like edits of one of the dudes. He was in
the Mean Girls.
The Mean Girls.
That's Conrad.
Him. That's Conrad. Okay, I think she's Team Conrad then, because she
Okay.
always shows me edits and like pictures of him compared to the Notebook, Ryan Gosling's character in the Notebook.
Really?
A lot of people are making those like connections, and she's a sucker for both those. So fun. Maybe I'll check it out with her.
Nah, you don't gotta check it out. You don't gotta check it out. I think it's.
I mean, I feel bad because I always make her sit through my stuff, so I'm like, if Charlie's saying it's fine, then okay.
Yeah.
At least. Well, because
we've been watching it. Like we've been keeping up with every season when it drops. So like I've been watching it for technically the past like couple of years. So.
Well, I loved watching Gilmore Girls, and whenever, because she would always have Gilmore Girls on, and I'd tune in every now and then I'd be like, okay, so why is she messing with this dude right here? Like this dude is obviously better for her. Like she's making a stupid decision, and so I always love those like, you know, push and pulls.
It's always the best, bro. That's what she's watching ER without me right now because I don't really care, and every now like the one with George Clooney. So every now I'll come in like, who's George Clooney? Stealing somebody's wife from them now. Like I don't like he's having sex with so many different people.
The whole movie Burn After
Really?
Reading.
That's what he does.
Dude, George Clooney just steals people's chicks. Yeah, that's the whole movie.
And honestly, bro, I gotta say this, and like no shade to George. I really fail to understand why so many women were like fawning over him in the ER days. I don't think he's that attractive back then. I think we have much more attractive men. Like I think David Cornsweat is hotter than that guy.
Oh man,
back around the same age, man. Like I don't see it, man. I just don't see it. Not that he's not attractive, but I just don't see it.
Fair take.
Why was it always like a, oh my gosh, George Clooney, he's so hot. Like I don't get that from him in ER. I just don't get it. Whatever.
Fair enough. Well, moving
all right. So nobody else is going to comment on any other attractive man. It's just going to make it seem like Charlie is all right. No, yeah, all right. I see how it is.
I said David Cornsweat. I was like, hey, I'm all there. I'm right there with
100%,
you,
bro.
I'm there.
David Cornsweat better than what's last Superman's name? Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Our girl, I would date a David Cornsweat over Henry Cavill any day of the week.
Oh yeah.
Moving on to our next topic.
Hey, Lex Luthor.
Nicholas Hoult,
bro.
yeah.
I like that.
Nicholas Hoult?
That bald, shiny head.
Okay, I don't know, but okay.
Yeah, with the bald head.
Keep going, Aiden. Let's get away from this.
Tripping.
Dude, you wanted me to chirp in. Come on.
We'll go into a kind of a quicker segment, a segment that'll be the quickest because there is one segment out of these two that I know we'll spend a decent amount of time on. So this first one, we'll be talking about the Naked Gun, only because I want to pick Ben's thoughts on it a little bit because I did see your Letterboxd rating, and
you can't be doing that.
I know. Well, I went to log my movies and I was like, "What? The Naked Gun's right there?" And so, I saw your
we need to unfollow each other, unironically.
I know. Yeah, we seriously do. How'd you like the movie, man?
I did like the movie. It is very funny, almost too funny because it's cramming jokes down your throat 24/7. But Liam Neeson is absolutely flawless when it comes to just that like serious tone humor, delivering those lines in his, iconic voice. He's perfect for that. And like he is definitely what is carrying the movie on its back in that regard. But yeah, lots of jokes landed, lots of jokes didn't. I think because I waited a little bit to see the movie, there was only a couple people in my theater, and that might have hurt things a little bit as well. Because I feel like, if you went with either a group of friends or if you went when most of the people were on opening weekend, when it would be the most packed in your theater and the most popular, I think you would have an even more fun experience with it. But when you're watching it with less people and you don't have any buddies with you or anything, then it's easier, I think, for at some point jokes to just be like, that's kind of whatever.
Yeah.
But honestly, like other than that, I liked some of the visual storytelling and the visualization of some of the humor. And the willingness to
what you're talking about,
dude, the willingness to just get wacky with it.
Yeah.
They just fully committed to it, and I love awesome. That aspect of it that they just fully went for it. But honestly, like every other part of this movie is kind of whatever. Like,
oh yeah, it's the dumbest movie
comedy,
ever.
It's a comedy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm perfectly pleased with it, and like for a pure comedy movie, it was a lot of fun. I couldn't see myself like rewatching this a ton, which I don't really know. Like for me, comedy is such a weird genre, and I think a lot of people would agree with this. That like you grow up with certain comedy movies. And like you and your friends that love those movies and laugh at those movies, those are the ones that you return to bring that joy out of you. Yeah. But a new comedy movie getting added onto that list, it takes a lot. And so for me, this isn't going to make that cut, but it's a pretty good comedy. So I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars.
Awesome. I'm just glad that like I wasn't completely overrating the crap out of the movie because I came out and I was like, Ben and Charlie have to go watch this. Like, and if I have to show them that I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, then that's what I'm gonna do. So to see that you're even at a 3.5 is like, that's awesome to me. I'm like, holy crap, I finally got one right. My favorite joke in the entire movie. Crap, I had it on the tip of my tongue and then it walked away. Oh yeah. The UFC announcer turning over to his colleagues and saying, "Before I left the house, my wife had makeup on. What is that supposed to mean? What do you think that means?" And they're just like, "Okay."
Dude.
It is the perfect type of comedy because like I listened to Charlie, we had talked about this. I listened to the Almost Friday podcast and they do a lot of improv like comedy and like a lot of sketch comedy. So they do like characters. And so for instance, this feels like this would be in one of their sketches where he's like, "We're UFC announcers and we're calling a fight, but I keep interrupting about something." And then they start the sketch and he's like, "Before I left the house, my wife had a makeup and a dress on. You know, what is that all about? What do you think that means?" And the other two announcers are just like, "I don't know, dude. We're trying to call a fight." It's just the most random humor ever. And I love that so much because I'm like, dude, it is all of their skits like come to life. Like it is like just my type of humor. Especially the coffee stuff. Like, dude, it's awesome.
Like it is so random, but then at points it's also very predictable. Like when he walks in and he's just like, "Take a seat," and she's like, "No, I already have chairs at home." Like those types of things. It fits the tone because it fits the tone because then like there's more of it. They go further with it. They don't just have that one little quip. They have like multiple people go back and forth within this like super serious conversation that they're having. And so at some point it's just like, okay, like they took it a little further and, you know, they're not just doing a single quip type of thing. But yeah, at a point there's some things where it's just like, you know, you can see where it's going.
And I think the peaks of the movie are like, my God, the snowman stuff. Like, dude, that was just like,
oh my
God, who even thinks of this? Like, oh man, that was like that was whenever I was like, this movie is truly something different because it's one thing to just like be a dumb, random, wacky comedy. It's another thing to put so much like how can we truly make this like the most over the top thing ever. It's like, oh yeah, let's pick up a book of incantations and spells. And it's like, what is going on? Yeah, it's awesome. I think those are the peaks of the movie, and I think they capitalized on that a lot more than they left jokes to die. So I watched it opening night right before I had to leave to Texas. I watched it opening night, had a pretty full theater. And so that heightened the experience a lot. So I can definitely say that you're probably right when it comes to the viewing experience and how that switches things up. But more than pleased with The Naked Gun, and I'm glad that you ended up liking it.
I know you just said that like you're glad you weren't far off with this one, but I did just pull up your ranking of 2025, and I do think you're a little far off with this one, pal. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean,
there's like many movies that are directly below this that I don't think deserve to be, but you know.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%. And I would say that you're incredibly valid with that. But you know, my enjoyment and the fact that it's a 4 stars and the rest of the ones under it. Did you see anything else in there that kind of did you just look at it right now?
I did just look at it, yeah.
Okay. All right. It'll be interesting.
It will be very interesting.
Moving on to our next and possibly the one we're going to spend the most on. Mr. Charles, I feel like I want to pass my hosting duties to you for this segment.
What the hell? What does this mean?
Just bring it. You could just introduce it. The good old Spiderman Set Leaks.
Oh, I forgot we were doing news.
I need you. I mean, I'm giving you an outlet to gush out about this suit.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, man. I've tweeted about it a couple times, and Aiden even said I was engagement farming. Which, you know, maybe. This is my absolute favorite picture, other than the, you know, aura one of him like looking down and the crowd is around him. But like, this is my favorite picture of the actual suit. But yeah, for those, I mean, it's not it's kind of old news now, I guess. We're a little bit late to the party, but the brand new day Spider-Man brand new day suit was shown off officially by Sony because they knew that when they were filming out in the open, out in Glasgow, it was gonna be leaked eventually, and it's been leaked to hell. Almost every day, there's something new coming out. I think just in the past couple of days, there hasn't been some stuff. But I mean, dude, like I think I only said this to Aiden. The only thing I don't love about it is the spider being so far below his like center chest. It's very reminiscent of the TASM 2 suit like that for me. And obviously I love the TASM 2 suit. I think most people love the TASM 2 suit. And I love the hell out of this one. This surpasses it for me. This is the best, I think. But then I at the same time I see pictures of like Toby's, bro. And Toby's is so good. Like it's so good. Back in the day, not No Way Home. Back in the day, it's so good. And actually Spider-Man 2, not Spider-Man 1. Spider-Man with the little crappy spider. Like, dude, oh my God, I made this one my Twitter header, bro. Like, this is so hard, man. This picture for audio listeners, this is the, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but while Tom was filming, he's fully suited up as Spider-Man, standing on top of a car, looking down, and he has just a crowd of people around him staring at him. Oh my gosh, man, it is so good. We talked about already that we think Brand New Day is going to make easily $1 billion. And a lot of that is this sentiment right here. How much but the movie has been blowing up on social media, just from practical web swinging, from the costume itself, to looking at Tom, how he's just come off of the Odyssey, and his acting abilities are probably even higher than they have been in the past. And I want to be clear also, I've talked my fair share of crap on the Tom Holland Spider-Man. Far From Home, I still think is horrible.
All right, Soups.
I still think Far From Home is horrible. His take on Homecoming is crazy. I like Homecoming. The Homecoming take is wild, but Far From Home, absolutely awful. I don't think that is a good representation of Spider-Man whatsoever. Even Tom's Spider-Man, but. No Way Home turned it around for me. I think that was a great story for Tom Holland Spider-Man. Putting all of the, I 1000% agree with Soups here. Like, anybody who wants to say that this is like because it was a cameo fest with Toby and Andrew and all the other villains showing up, no, it was a great story for Tom Holland Spider-Man. He is now Spider-Man. Tom Holland himself said it was kind of like Spider-Boy, and now he's Spider-Man. And look at this, dude. Also, I've been thinking about this. The fact that the Punisher is how are we getting the Punisher being in a Marvel movie before Daredevil? Which, granted, Matt Murdock was in No Way Home, but Matt Murdock, not Daredevil. We're getting Punisher before Daredevil, which is fine. Obviously I'm super excited for that, but it's just kind of crazy. I didn't think that would be the case for the first Frank, from a TV show to crossover kind of thing.
Frank looks gorgeous here.
He does.
God, man, he looks so good. Look at them three, bro. Like, did you oh my God, bro, just seeing them three right there together, like, knowing what do you think about possibility they can all share the screen is insane.
What do you think of how he would look with like white gloves? Because that's like a big Punisher thing. Yeah, a lot of people are wanting him to have white gloves. Yeah,
I just felt a tingly feeling deep down below. I'm not kidding. That'd be gorgeous,
dude. I honestly I love how the vest looks, but my eyes just keep going down center, bro. Oh my gosh, bro.
Yo, let's chill.
Hey, bro, listen, dude, that too.
I love like the vest is cool, but the vest and cargo pants. But I saw somebody talk about how even the this right here. Oh, dude! Imagine him in
white boots
bro.
Too. Oh, the trench. He's done the trench coat before, I guess.
See, now
with the whole new setup.
But yeah, like this right here, bro. Just go for it. Do it.
Yeah,
dude. Those would be mighty red after the Punisher special.
That's
dude, for the special. I'm really
that would
my pants would be.
Also for this, I'm very intrigued how because like we've never seen him in a PG-13 setting. Wait, what did Aiden say?
After I said that it would be mighty red after the Punisher special, Aiden said his pants would be mighty white.
I thought he said something like he'll make them white again. I was like, that is crazy. But I'm interested. This is the first time he'll be seen in a PG-13 setting, and so I'm very interested to see how they're gonna, because there's no way they're going rated R with this. But I'm very interested to see how they handle him with the killing and how brutal they can be. Obviously, they can show blood. Whoa, I have not seen this.
Oh,
I have not seen this. Looks like
audio listeners. It's a fan picture of.
I mean, this looks really cool, but this kind of looks like Boss Logic level.
Yeah,
which Boss Logic does do cool stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say, what are you knocking Boss Logic or what? I love this,
but not all of his stuff is cool. Let's not lie.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes a little over the top. Audio listeners, it's a picture of him standing or farming. But it's
send that to me on Twitter.
Like a movie poster.
Send it to me on Twitter. And then also I see you have the MJ or not, maybe not MJ, but just Zendaya pictures pulled up right now. Don't.
Yeah.
What the hell? Don't say hi to me. I want to talk about this because I said this to Aiden in DMs also about this. Like, this better be like an end of the movie kind of thing, or this better. Somebody said, and I really love this idea. I don't think that they're actually doing this, but I really love this as an idea. That throughout the movie, he'll see her in his head, and like she'll be there and acting out, seeing like how he yearns for her and that kind of thing. Like he just constantly sees her. She's constantly talking to him, similar to Wilson Fisk in Daredevil season 3. And his dad in Daredevil season 3, similar to that kind of thing. And then at the very end of the movie, she finally is there in person. He sees her for real, and like that's where the movie ends. Dude, that's where it ends. Like that'd be so fire. That'd be so good. I don't think they're gonna do that. But also, I have heard a lot of people have reported that Zendaya being there is just Zendaya being there supporting Tom. Like she's not filming scenes there. So
yeah, I think it could be like a dreamlike sequence of him, visiting May Parker's grave, and then she pulls up to, comfort him or whatever in a way that he wishes she would be there for him. But I see the possibility that is a real scene akin to like the scene with Happy Hogan in No Way Home, where she's just there because she knows who May is.
Yeah. Through Spider-Man.
And they have an interaction there. And if that was all it was and, just affects Tom in that way, I would be okay if they interacted. And even if that was earlier in the film, that's fine.
Sure.
As long as they don't go too far with it, which I think is what all of us care about.
And from the reports that we've heard so far, that sounds like that's going to be the case. But also then I wonder, because we know that Ned is going to be in this movie too. That's official. So I just wonder where where he's going to be placed in all of this as well. So
it might just be dream sequences or something.
It also upset me initially when I saw this because I'm really hoping that they take this opportunity from this 3-year time jump of them not knowing each other and like them all living their own lives for MJ to become more like comic MJ. Like, dude, pull the trigger. Give Zendaya the red hair. Give Zendaya some red hair. She can pull it off. Give her the modeling, aspiring model career. Give her the confidence. Like, let her have grown over her time in college and everything like that. Like I feel like it's perfect. So then when I saw this screenshot of Zendaya dressing like how MJ used to, her hair up like how MJ used to have it up, and everything in between, I was like, dude, we're not doing anything cool here. Like 3-year time jump, we're not doing anything with it. But to find out that she's maybe not filming right there, that's good for me.
I mean, that better be the case. And honestly, if they were to take her in a more comic accurate MJ type of direction, I mean, they're literally engaged, bro. How would I not be fine with that? Like, my biggest problem with her has never been, has always been her as MJ, her as Mary Jane Watson, and, playing this romantic love interest to Peter. I mean, it was always just like an edgy teenage girl. It just never hit, and the sarcasm and the jokes just never hit. Now, towards the end of No Way Home, when she does start to show more vulnerability, and even at the end of Far From Home, when she starts to realize, okay, you know, maybe this thing with Peter is something that I can open up to continue that in 3 years later, you've already shown some of that growth. Like, I'd be more than fine with that. And I'm the one that's been the most vocal about her being around Peter or even coming back. Probably would still like to see a Gwen Stacy. Even
Sadie
just
Sink, bro.
another love interest.
Whoever Sadie Sink is playing.
And dude, there's still gonna be some, like, I feel like the next couple months until they start filming inside and until they start, like, you know, kind of closing it down. If they do, like, people have already said they thought they spotted the rhino.
Oh yeah, there was I heard there was a rhino head. Yeah, I heard that.
Rhino prop. Joe Keery as Harry Osborn. Like,
yeah, I've seen that rumor.
Some things are going to start happening that is going to be real life. Like, I'm just going to let y'all know when y'all see these leaks and y'all see these reports, just know that we are here and that they are real. Like, the fact that we're even getting Punisher, Hulk, and Spider-Man in one movie, bro. Are you kidding me, bro?
Insanity.
Are you serious?
And
God,
see,
I'm
it begs
so
the question to me.
pick,
also, I want to. No way, bro. No way. Just like that, he's already declaring
1,000% is my number.
This is number one pick. Nah, you'll find something else before by the time we actually draft, buddy.
I'm getting One Piece season 2 hands down. There's no way I'm not, bro. Like,
how well did it do on Rotten Tomatoes? The season 1.
I think 90-80.
Really? Okay.
I mean, that'd be pretty good for Aiden.
I would take literally anything at this point.
Also, so I want to talk about the rumors that the Inner Demons were going to be in the movie and Mr. Negative potentially. Apparently, those have turned out to not be true. At least that's what another scooper has said, that they are not in the movie. So with that being the case, granted, they've never said that we're going to get Savage Hulk back, but they have said, or maybe not they, but somebody has said, and maybe another scooper has said that they will be fighting each other. Spider-Man, Hulk, and Punisher. So how does that happen? Like, there has to be a moment where, like, maybe it's like a Doctor Strange moment in No Way Home where they technically fight each other over, like, just a differing of opinions. But I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna give Hulk, if you're gonna have Hulk, you gotta have Hulk, bro. I'm tired of us not having Hulk, you know. So that was kind of the out that they would have of Smart Hulk, was Mr. Negative could bring out Savage Hulk again with influencing him with his negative powers in some way, whatever you want to call them. But since he's not going to be here, I just don't know how that's going to work out. But that's good. I don't want to know how it's going to work out, because I don't know if I know I've said this before. I know you guys know this, and I think Aiden said he's going to do it too. But I think Aiden's going to drop out. I am not watching any trailers for this movie. I am not watching a single teaser, TV spot, trailer, nothing for this movie. I am going in blind. I want to be completely surprised. It's the first time I've ever done this with a Marvel movie, so I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard, but I have to.
Yeah, I can't wait for Savage Hulk to be in the first trailer. That's all. I can't wait for that.
And you people will say that, they'll tell me about it, but, like, I'm not gonna know how it plays out. Is my thing.
I have a question. With the reports of Punisher, Hulk, even now Scorpion, is there a scenario where you kind of feel like, all right, maybe this is getting a little too convoluted, especially with reports of, like, there's the villain still hasn't even been mentioned, and it's not anyone that has been casted or talked about. Sadie Sink is in the movie. Tina from The Bear, which I doubt she'll have too big of a role, but you got to factor in at least Sadie Sink, and then the big hitters: Hulk, Punisher, Scorpion, unknown villain. I've
already seen somebody say that she's going to play Mr. Delmar's wife for the sandwich shop. I've already seen that.
Oh, Tina! I was like, Sadie Sink, what?
No, Tina from The Bear. Nobody, no scooper has said that. No scooper has said that. I want to be clear, but somebody has just theorized. Oh, I bet she's going to be Mrs. Delmar.
I mean, it's a good theory. I don't think there's a point.
How's Mrs. Delmar?
I don't think there's a point where it's too much for me because, I mean, I would say this about most movies that like you could give me a list of all the people or all the things that are going to happen in a movie, and until I see the movie, it's kind of up in the air. I mean, we feel that way about Avengers movies sometimes, like with their massive cast list, and even with all of the X-Men and stuff. Obviously, we're still worried for Doomsday and whatnot. But then you go back to like an Infinity War and an Endgame, and it's like you can do a lot of things and have a lot of people in there and still make it work. And it's about the quality of writing. It's not about the quantity of things that you're trying to fit in.
Yeah, I personally would also say, and granted, everybody has their own topic and or not topic, but thing to say about No Way Home. But I think that everything that was in that movie, I think it was handled well. I think the villains were handled well. I think they did a good job with it. So I think that they, especially with it being the same writers, which I'm not over the moon about, but maybe now with a different director, they'll push themselves more. I think that they have the capability to handle everything that they're throwing into this movie. So
yeah,
looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it.
The set leaks were beautiful. The suits were amazing. I'm so conflicted. I'd have to see it on the screen to say definitively if it is better than TASM 2 suit or not, because that is still my definitive favorite Spider-Man suit. TASM 2 is going to be hard to beat in my head, and I think a lot of people are falling victim to like just
eyes, bro.
Gasping. Here's the thing. I feel like a lot of people are just like waiting and just wanting so bad to grasp onto the concept that Marvel can still do something at the best that we've ever seen. Whether that's a Thunderbolts movie, a Fantastic Four movie, like people are fiending for that best of all time. 5th, top 5, top 10. So then I think whenever we see this suit, a lot of people fall victim to, I didn't think it'd be possible, but TASM 2 suit is easily beat. Like, this is the great. And it's like, okay, let's calm down a little bit. Like, I feel like people are way too, like, I need to see Marvel do something amazing. I need to see Marvel still be in that conversation of, like, best ever, top this, top that, greatest of all time. I want to wait to see it in the movies. But TASM 2 is still my favorite Spider-Man suit of all time. And it's going to be hard to beat. It's going to be really hard to beat.
It will be hard to beat. You know what I'm going to need in order for it to even be in the conversation? I need a web swinging sequence that can come anywhere near to the opening of TASM 2. Well, absolutely necessary.
Is that your top?
That's top swinging sequence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? You don't like the end of Spider-Man 1 or the end of Spider-Man 2 or
TASM 2
mid-movie Spider-Man 2 when he does it through he like flips through the truck, the semi-truck?
I mean, those are all cool sequences. Absolutely, don't get me wrong. But there's something about just like, I don't know, the way that opens TASM 2 almost convinces you that it's going to be a good movie each time you rewatch it. There's something about it.
And I want to say I agree. TASM 2 is my top. I just wanted to make sure. And
there's lots of things that could be in the conversation. I think in a world where No Way Home was structured slightly differently and we got a different form of the trio swinging together, I think that could be in the conversation. But the fact that all we got was like, a 10-second moment with the three of them, still great for what it is. But like, I don't know, you're not going to top just the GoPro shots, how great the suit looks while swinging, which is why I brought it up.
Yeah.
Opening on the logo, showing the suit, just
so
the
good.
Ruffles in the wind.
My problem with the Toby ones, I feel like Toby seems really heavy in those. Like he's not moving as light as I think Spider-Man.
Toby looks a lot thicker in like his Spider-Man suit, which I kind of like. I like how he looks like a lot more stern and like bulkier.
He's beefy.
But it was Tobey Maguire really really that swole? Like he never
not anymore.
Me as like being that swole.
I think part of it is like part of it is a height difference too. Obviously, Tom's short, but like Andrew is pretty tall, so that makes him seem taller and a bit lankier versus Toby's,
Bro, and they had two good scenes. Like, even the little mini scene halfway through TASM 2, where after he's done talking to Gwen, I think it's right after they break up, he runs and jumps off the building, and the camera follows him as he falls, and then he swings and does like a little flip off of the wall of a building and then swings again. Dude, even that is so fantastic, man. That is so damn good.
Dude, say that again.
So, Ben, that's stupid. So I texted Charlie and I said, all these leaks were coming out, and I was like, dude, there's a chance that we could actually see like a proper web swing moment. And the next day, this video had came out.
No, yeah, that was actually crazy. He said that, and then these videos all came out about the swinging.
Which this looks kind of goofy, but
I mean, like, if we get this stuff, it's like great. Tom hasn't had a ton of this. But
see, but this, honestly, me personally, what I see from this, like, this is just going to be a quick little shot of him swinging towards the truck while he's trying to land on it. Like, it's literally going to be like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's the thing about it, is like TASM 2, and you could make, there's lots of CinemaSins things you could say about the TASM 2 opening, like how the heck does Peter Parker start like thousands of feet in the air as he's like skydiving before he starts swinging? Whatever, you could point out
off a helicopter, bro. Come on.
Yeah, you could point out whatever you want to, but it's like if you give just enough of a reason, or even no reason at all, to just start on a nice web swing, or put it just somewhere in the movie, just to give off the vibes, that just, it does something. It tickles my fancy personally.
I still love the opening of Spider-Man 3. However, that movie's not great, but like the movie opens with him like narrating, and while there's like a bird's eye shot of him swinging. So fantastic. Great stuff.
Yeah, say that again.
Give me something like that, bro. Give me something like that for this movie. Him narrate, like, it's been 3 years since they forgot about me, or something. I don't know, bro. Do something.
3 years ago, the world forgot about Spider-Man.
All
3
right,
months
here we go. I
ago,
know what he's doing.
Punisher showed up.
Dude, I saw one on Twitter today, and one of them was like, 3 hours ago, Scorpion attacked Hulk. Why would Scorpion do that? Why is he stupid?
Scorpion is getting
do that.
Put in a blender after that. What are you talking about? All right, moving into one of our 2 big movies that we are discussing today. This is the horror hour of the episode.
Whoa, buddy.
Horror
together.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, horror.
Yeah,
but also, if things get a little out of hand, it could be the horror hour. As well.
Dang.
Together, 2025 release. Instant reactions in 3.
Wait, hold on. But sorry, before we do this, did Ben want to talk about Together?
Nice clip for him. Yeah,
that's what we're talking about. We all watched it.
Oh, I thought Aiden didn't see it.
We all watched it. No, we're doing this, and then
I thought Aiden didn't see it. My bad.
Oh, he wasn't here when we talked about it.
Oh yeah,
he didn't know that.
Yeah, we're
I didn't know.
Oh man, Charlie, way to mess up the clip for him. It's crazy.
Restart it.
Together, 2025 release. Instant reactions in 3, 2, 1.
I'll go 2. I'll go 2 with you. I'll go 2 with you, brother.
Very fun time. Very fun time. I wasn't expecting a lot out of the movie. You know me. I love realistic horror. I love culty horror. Culty horror is probably my absolute favorite. And so as the movie went on, started to just keep on checking all the boxes. I think this movie just like went on an exponential growth for me in terms of like caring about it and, really enjoying the film. Because that first like hour 20, I was like, okay, like really? Body horror doesn't really do too much for me. Like gore, like I don't know, like stuff like that in a horror movie will never really like unsettle me.
Unsettle me real quick. I want to say I don't get scared of horror movies at all. But the early on, not spoiler, don't worry, anybody who's still planning on watching it. But early on, like right before they move, like the first like nightmare he has about his mom, and then like she comes up under the blanket, bro. Yeah. I had chills across my whole body, bro. I was like, nah, cut this shit.
That was a good.
That is crazy.
Yeah. proximity is like an underrated like horror element, like just knowing somebody's close but you can't see them. And like, well, obviously we'll talk about that later. Like sometimes all it takes is a car door opening and closing. Like proximity horror is like where it makes you feel like something's on me. That is very underrated as well. So it was still good. Like I still had a good time. I loved the concept of like this couple that dang near hates each other. It's like just like cursed to be drawn together to where they have to end up working through that. Like I think that's such a cool concept, and it's so different and neat. And I can give it all like props all day, every day for just how unique and neat it is, and how much of a cool story it is to tell. And so yeah, a bit of an exponential growth in terms of how much I liked it while I was watching it, but solid, 3 out of 5 stars for me. 3.5. 3.5.
See, I think that's where I would fall as well. So I'm interested. I'm interesting. You guys both gave it. I wonder where Ben falls because you guys both
Wait,
gave it double thumbs up.
You fall as well. I mean, I like it's good. It's a good like a 6, a 3 out of 5 would probably be like. There you go. Nice.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at. Yeah, because I enjoyed it a lot. I think performances were great, mostly from Allison Brie. I don't think Dave Franco was bad. But Allison Brie, I think did much better. But there's so many, like, I know you guys know that I don't really care about horror stuff that much, but like so many stupid like, dude, I feel like most everybody and their mother knows you don't just drink from random sources of water. Like I'm sorry, but like, what are you doing? Like, what are you, especially still water like that? But anyway, I don't want to get too into the weeds of the story and anything like that, but really good. I thought the effects for it all was really well done as well. Like it was very eerie in a lot of the scenes where they were fighting it and everything like that. I love the way that it unwound itself, the story. Like there was the twist in it. I didn't really see that coming, I guess, until like right before it happened. And yeah, I mean, I think that's where like my positives really stop. It kind of like dragged I think it dragged on a bit for me. And maybe that's because like as I was watching it, I kind of I felt like maybe how Aiden felt in the first hour of the movie. I was questioning why Dave Franco's character specifically feels the way that he feels about the relationship and everything like that. And so, and I feel like I never really got a resolution to that. And
yeah, he just kind of hates his girlfriend.
Yeah, like, and then like doesn't all of a sudden, and maybe like he almost loses her kind of thing. But I'd heard, and I don't know that this is like official, but it was like it's a story about codependency, and I can see that. I can see the themes of it for sure. But it seemed more like very one-sided from this relationship. Maybe there's different aspects of the codependency that I'm just not confronting as well with the movie, but I don't know. I enjoyed it overall. I want that to be the takeaway. I think it was a good movie. I'd give it a 3 out of 5 stars as well. I don't want to like hammer home on it at all, but like also, why did you take him into the men's restroom? Why'd you do that? Why did you go there? Whatever.
That was rough. I wasn't expecting to just see a full top down of Dave Franco, but you know, it's just fine.
Of Mr. Richard. Yeah.
Franco's Frank, or
I mean, to me, an obvious answer to that is that like they both drank the water, right? So like there's a physical like they're drawn together and it causes things to happen. I don't know. Like how
the answer to what? I'm sorry.
Why they went to the men's restroom. At some point, like there's the rationality of things happening goes away and you don't always have like full control over what happens. I'm not saying that that's a perfect excuse. Like obviously I agree with that. But yeah. So that, that was my only thought with it. But
But also, like, I would just not spoilery, but just like it didn't seem to be affecting her like at all up until like a little bit later in the movie after that scene. Like she seemed like not affected by it whatsoever.
Dude, I was actually going to say this as I was just making that point. I think, from my memory at least, I think he was the only one who drank the water, and then she got affected after they had sex. I'm not even trolling.
Really?
Well, I think he had even
I thought they shared the wine bottle though. Didn't they fill the wine bottle up with water and share it?
Did they? Because I thought he gave her.
They didn't show them filling it up the bottle, no. But
I thought he gave her the last of the water, and then he went to fill his own. I don't think we ever saw her drink, and so that's why he started getting affected by it, like the bathroom scene, him in the shower. That started happening, and she was just fine. And I'm pretty sure it was after the point that they had sex that
like they did. Well, they did wake up in the cave already, kind of connecting to each other. But yes. I'd say for the mental aspect of it, sure, I would agree with you.
He had even said at one point in the movie, he was like, I don't know, something happened down there in that cave, and I think whatever happened to me is like lashing on to you. Like, I think you're starting to be affected by this too. And that was after they had sex when they were in the parking lot, and she's like, what is going on? This is freaky. And so yeah, I'd be interested to see if there were any like deeper meanings or messages behind anything, because I like what you had brought up, Charlie, about codependency and a lot of stuff with the relationships. It was just like it's a lot of just up and down, just out of nowhere. He's just like, yeah, I love you, and I'll even say, let's morph. Like, I don't know.
When like at the beginning of the movie, she points out, oh, everybody loves that we're twinning, and then he intentionally changes his outfit so they're not twinning anymore. And I was like, oh, this guy fucking hates her. I was like,
he does not like his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I think so. To me, the codependency thing worked really well. One, because like I love when a movie can take its concept and then have its characters or their relationship or whatever mirror that in a more like practical way, because obviously none of us are going to relate to the horrific things that were happening to them physically being drawn together like that.
Don't speak
but whoa, pause. David Cornsweet's in the room. You start
hey
sweating,
bro, yeah. I'll hand him a glass and we gonna get to drinking.
Yeah, your corn starts sweating a little bit, but like obviously that's not something that we can relate to. But when they then mirror that in the characters and their relationship with one another, I love that. But the reason more why it worked for me in this movie is like, at the start, it was clear to me that it was a two-way street with the codependency throughout, which is he doesn't really like her for the fact that he feels a little bit, not necessarily like a deadbeat, but that he's really trying to achieve his goals and she doesn't really believe in him. And then on her side of things, she feels like, I'm the one who's working with a stable job and I'm picking up the slack, allowing him to live his fantasy that she thinks he'll never achieve. That to me is like the two sides of the coin of like, they each have their reasons that they show why they don't really like each other. And it has to do with their dependency on one another. And so like, I can't point to a ton of specifics for why it worked by the time we got like towards the end of the movie. But for me, the idea of codependency and the journey that they go on and this big challenge that they go through of the physical being drawn together. And like at some point to me, like something happens to the two of them to realize like, we only have so many choices that we can make to fix this. And so like the idea of codependence and coexisting with another person, they use the symbolism in marriage of like becoming one. And so this is like just a physical representation of that. And so even though it may not be like clearly laid out, maybe there could have been better dialogue towards the end there, of talking about where they were at and how they're sorry and where they feel moving forward. To me, it was still portrayed from what we did get to see with them overcoming that hurdle and realizing like we haven't been great to each other we need to become one. You know, we need to find unity with each other, both in the mental sense and in the physical sense. So that actually worked really well for me. And just like as a whole, I think I like this movie. Well, obviously I liked it more than you guys. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars for me personally.
Oh wow,
I
cool,
really
nice.
enjoyed it. Because for me, a horror movie, it needs to check 3 things. It needs to check concept, it needs to check characters, and then it needs to check believability. I already talked about the concept and the characters and how like those tying together was great, and the fact that they actually put effort into character development so much better than like a Final Destination or even Alien or whatever movies that we've talked about before, where it's just like, here's your characters, we're going to throw them into crazy situations, they're going to get killed and whatnot. So those things, those boxes are checked. But the third one is even bigger for me, which is believability, which is like when you're going to introduce a crazy concept like this, you have to give me the breadcrumbs to explain it enough where I buy it. If you're going to tell me that these two people drank some water and now they're like physically drawn close to one another, you need to give me some sort of explanation for why that is happening. And you could argue that like this movie still only gives you like a little bit, and it doesn't.
I was going to say, do you feel like we got that? Because I personally would say, before you say what you're going to say, I would personally just say that we got like the cult that revolves around what causes it, but we don't know why it does what it does or how it does what it does.
I think I care less about the why and more so just giving me the what. Like, give me something, because for me it's not like I need logical reasoning why this causes that. I don't necessarily need that. But if you tell me the what, which is, there used to be a church here, the cult thing, the unity, and this is what causes it to happen, that gives me enough. And we'll talk about this more when we dive into weapons as well. But literally, like, if you just give me the breadcrumbs to be like, this causes this, then I'm typically satisfied with that. I don't need something that always you can logically flow why it happens, because at some point we're talking about supernatural things. So like, I don't know that there's a world where you could rationally explain why this is happening because they drank this water. But it's more so like they just, they give you an example and they show you here's what it is, and I can buy into it at that point. I can be on board with it at that point, more so than if they just like they drank some water, there was no backstory, there was no history, and then this thing just starts happening to them. Then I'd be out on it.
Okay. Yeah, I guess you're right in the sense that, I guess spoilers. We've already been kind of dancing around it. Yeah. In the sense that there's like cave clearly in the backstory, I guess you can infer that it's been around for a while, that so long that this cult has sort of idealized it and built their entire structure around what it does to people and found meaning in that. And I guess it's just, we're meant to understand it's just something that's been here on the planet for one reason or another. I guess, I guess I can agree that that's enough for believability for me as well. I guess I'm someone who just wants a little bit more from that. And I understand your point as well, to the fact that, like, we're talking about supernatural things and not every supernatural thing can be explained. Like, you have to just brush it off. And coming from somebody who likes superhero stuff, which I just brush off a lot of, like, oh, this whole city can be evacuated in 10 minutes kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess maybe I need to get better at giving horror movies that leniency, maybe, because like that's sort of a drawback for me, I guess, because I also have questions as to, like, why did the church seemingly sink into the ground that the cave is in? Like, it's just, and I feel like the dream that Dave Franco's character had while in the cave about the cave being alive and breathing, I feel like that was something that we should have seen, like, more about that, and maybe there was some significance to that, because we also see a face of like that's sticking out of the cave. So somebody merged with the cave. I want to know how that happened, what they did needed to do that. Maybe is that going to happen to the couple that are already merged down there? You know, I don't know. More questions, I guess, that aren't really a hindrance on the movie itself, but just like one of the things, and no, I won't say that. I want things to be answered. If you're going to introduce things, I need answers for said things a lot of the time. And so like the cave breathing thing, in the cave seemingly being alive, I'd love to explore a little bit more of that in the movie. But I get that they had the story to tell about codependency, and I think that they did a good job at that. But again, also I still have problems with seemingly how they just bounce back and forth with how they feel about each other in very small doses that just doesn't really make sense in my mind.
Yeah. No, yeah. I can see that. I think it just worked for me a little bit better, and I'm usually pretty big on like a concept that's well executed. I tend to be pretty on board with for me. Mm-hmm. So I will say, now that we're talking spoilers, dude, I hated the last 10 seconds of this movie. I absolutely
really.
I literally think that all you needed to do, have them come up to the door and show the parents' reaction. I hated that we saw them merge together. I don't know.
I loved it.
I feel like I would have felt the opposite. If we didn't see it, I would have been upset.
Well, because we knew that they did, so it just, like, to me, it felt a little goofy. I don't know the way to put it.
Yeah, and I do want to say before, so we don't feel bad, I guess, about this. I mean, I guess maybe we'll still feel a little bit bad. And that was Allison Brie herself. She was just like in makeup and what, because I bring it up because my girlfriend, because we saw it together, and she saw the interview. There was an interview where Allison Brie was like, if I could change anything about it, honestly, it'd just be the last shot of like, I feel like that looks really uncanny. I feel like we could have made it look better. We could have found a better way to make it look better. And my girlfriend thought she was talking about like an actress and like, dude, if I was that actor or actress, I would feel so horrible that they said that about me. But it was.
This actress looks uncanny.
Yeah,
dude, that makeup is insane though, because that looked like,
I'm sure there was some CGI or something in it too.
Yeah, that was just insane how much it looked like both of them.
I don't know what it was, because like them merging together, like, you know, all of that made sense, and the reason for doing it, which is like, you know, they were both dying, the codependency thing. They were both dying and they needed to merge in order to live. But I don't know what it was. It left it on a sour note for me. Obviously, I was like, okay, we know that the parents were coming for lunch. We know that they merged together. And we obviously have seen the other teacher, and knowing that he is a merged individual with his husband from years ago and whatever. And, you know, he was kind of trying to aid them along in that. So we had seen that. And so it's obvious we know what is happening, but I don't know what it was. Just seeing it as the final note of the movie just didn't work for me.
I actually didn't know what was happening, which I think is why I liked it a lot more.
What?
Here's the reason why. Here's the reason why. I definitely legally watched this movie. Definitely legally watched it. And so, you know, things happen. Wife gets home with food. Episodes in an hour. Gotta record it in an hour, you know. But still, like, I'm watching.
Bro, just watch this.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Dude, I had to finish building the Mary, and I didn't finish until like 6 o'clock, and I was like, bro, there's no more showings, and like the only showing I'd be getting out at like 9:30. I was like, I think I know what I have to do. I'm sorry.
Hop on the Going Merry, sail the seven seas.
Yo, that's good. I like that.
Piracy. Yeah, good joke. So, which beautiful quality, by the way. I mean, I don't know how it's already in HD, which is
actually funny. Real quick, sorry, it's actually funny you say this, because like I was getting a phone call from one of my friends and they kept like spamming, so I was like, okay, this got to be important. So I like stepped out of the theater to go make this call, and I hate leaving the theater. Because I hate missing stuff. And so I missed the whole sex scene, the entire sex scene. I missed it. And so I had to go back. I had to pull up some Going Merry type shit, and I had to watch it at home. So that's funny. That's funny.
That's how you saw the Reeds Richard.
Yeah. Oh yes.
Did you was yours in like full HD, or was it like an actual?
It was a camcording, but it was a very good camcording. It was very good.
The one I watched today was like in pure HD, and I was like,
really?
Like it literally looked like I rented it. Like, that's why I was like, what? Yeah,
that's
I don't know.
Quick. They got that quick. They got that quick.
I wouldn't know. I mean, I've just
it's funny. Yeah, about it. It's funny you say that. The movie's called Together, but I literally watched that in an empty theater.
Wow, really?
And I went. I think I went. It was last Thursday. It was opening night.
Yeah, you went pretty close, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because I left on Friday, so I went on Thursday. Which, to be fair, so many people were watching Superman, Fantastic Four, and whatnot. So not too surprising. But yeah, literally the only watching it in the theater.
Oh, dude, don't make me feel like crap now. God, dude, I feel like shit now.
No, don't.
Just like nobody going to watch this movie, and I'm over here.
My theater is full. But
really?
I only have one movie theater in my town of 90,000 people though. So like, yeah, people are gonna go to see this. So.
Yeah.
Anyways, my viewing was all over the place, but for a second there, I remember seeing the video and I was like, oh, that's weird. They like these two dudes look like this guy right here. Like they like, him and his husband, they like, I don't know. I knew something was going on. What really got me was that every time we had seen this happen before, it was a mangled up piece of mess with the dogs and then the person in the cave. So whenever I saw them morphing together, I was like, okay, they're gonna end up a mangled mess, like, because that's what we've seen so far throughout the whole movie. Not knowing that, like, oh, that dude is obviously morphed. So then it gets to the end, and I see the parents come, and they open the door, and I was like, wait, is this like in the future? Did someone is this just someone living in the house? And so I rewound it, and I was waiting, and I was like, oh my god, it all makes sense now. And I was like, that's insane, that's crazy. So it took a while for it to click for me.
So for me, this ties into the codependence thing that, like, in order to become one whole being like that, you have to actually have unity with the person you're merging with your partner, which is why, like, the guy who did it, who was a part of the cult, why he was able to do it so successfully. And I suspected that he was involved from the very beginning. Usually horror movie, when you have a character like that, it's pretty obvious, I think. And so I'm pretty sure I started to piece that together the first time that we went to his home and we saw the picture of like him and his husband. As soon as we saw that picture and, they're dancing around things a little bit, I'm like, I think I know where this is going, which is he knows what's happening. He lives close. He was a part of it. And he's already been through this process with another person. Yeah. Obviously, you get to a certain point where they then expedition dump so that we get the full backstory of that. But I think I was starting to piece it together basically at that point. And it just makes everything make more sense. And it ties in my opinion, very well to the concept, but then also the emotional core of the codependency with another person. Because even he was in the exposition that he was giving to Alison Brie's character. He specifically was saying that, like, he's trying to aid the process by cutting her open. Yeah. Like, he's trying to help that. Whereas, like, the dogs in the woods in the very beginning, or the couple that just randomly fell into it and got stuck down there. That's why I think there's a difference in why not every single one is just going to be as successful as the couple that we saw be successful towards the end.
Interesting to me also, the point when he's having a conversation with, just a regular conversation with her in his house right after they get into a fight, Alison Brie and the teacher guy, he specifically mentions that he misses his husband and he sometimes wishes he was still around. And I guess just juxtapose that with him being part of the cult and saying that he feels closer than ever to his husband, and like this is the way that things are supposed to be because you can fully unite with one another. So I wonder if the push and pull with that, like if they are one in the same mind, or does he mean he misses him physically, or I don't know. I guess that opens another question for me. Maybe he was lying, I guess, when he said that he misses his husband earlier because he hadn't unfolded the entire plot to her yet. But
Yeah. I mean, I think the cult and what the church did is, whatever they put in that water to make that happen. But the whole thing is like unity with another person, and the representation, almost the spiritual representation of becoming one with another person through marriage. They had a way of making that physical as well. Which, like I said, from a conceptual standpoint, I really like that. You're taking something that people already associate with marriage or relationship, or however you want to spin it, whatever your belief system is, and taking that one step further of becoming one physically. And I really like it from that aspect, just because then you can tie it into the real world application of people in a relationship and the struggles that they overcome through that.
Do you think that there was which just might be a dumb question, but do you think that there was like a situation to where that they were doomed to this path from the beginning, or that they just stumbled upon this by chance?
I would say I'd probably just say by chance.
By
I mean,
chance?
I think that had the teacher guy had, I'm sure he had a plan to maybe like try to ease them towards that, or push them towards that maybe, but it kind of all it happened for him in a sense with the hiking mishap and everything.
Exactly. Which might mean that they were on a path.
Yeah. Okay.
Huh.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, you could say that their conflict and the tension that they had going on in their relationship is the reason why they got into that situation in the first place.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
could drag that out, and I could
Yeah.
see it.
Or her getting the job there, at the same place that he works, and them having to move for it. A lot of cool things. That's what I love so much about cult horrors, is because you can almost always bring up the question of like, okay, how much of how much of a hand did they have in this plot or this story happening? Which is why I love Hereditary so much. It will always be my number one horror movie, because it's just so cool to see constantly, even to this day, people uncovering like different subliminal messages that show like, hey, the classmate that asked him for help on his homework, or that helped him from being bullied, whatever it was, her necklace has the cult symbol on it, and so boom, she's in on it too, and like just spread throughout the whole movie. And so I always like to bring up that question when it comes to situations like that. And so yeah, well, if that's all for together, we can move on to our next subject. Awesome.
Yeah.
This together. Sorry, bro.
Charlie, Maddie said, of course, Conrad.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
her.
Most women are Conrad. Most women are Conrad. I don't blame them. Now,
My boy,
I do blame him in
Or-
season 1 and season 2. Holy shit, whiny ass little bitch.
We love growth, and I feel like she's even mentioned that to me before. But anyways, on to our final review of the night, our final topic of the night in this glorious, wonderful episode. We are here to give our weapons instant reaction and review. On the count of 3, I want y'all to tell me with just a face, just a gesture, of what you think of the movie Weapons 2025, directed by Zach Krager. 3, 2, 1. No! Oh no, dude, he's gonna be so crushed, dude. This is the second,
man.
dude. This is the second freaking week in a row, dude. No, he's gonna be crushed.
Wait, what was last week?
He had nine or Fantastic Four. Whenever we were both just like,
Oh yeah.
dude, he rated it a 9 out of 10. I saw it on Letterboxd earlier, and I was like,
really?
yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Oh, I'm so.
You know what's
that's so
funny? I
crazy
went and
that
looked at
you-
Letterboxd after, and I was like, I expected to see your guys's, but I didn't see it.
I haven't put anything up. Oh no, this is gonna hurt so bad. For audio listeners, Ben has ran out of the room and he has just now returned.
just
and Me
returned.
and Charlie have only given it this. Oh, my heart's breaking for him. Oh, guys, my heart's breaking for him. Then I told Charlie this is the second movie review in a row that we've just like Fantastic Four and then this. I'm so sorry, brother.
I don't know if I can be here.
Oh, I'm so sorry, brother.
That's a crazy show to put on, bro, for us to just feel like that.
Dude, can I just say one thing before I get my heart broken?
Yeah, go for it.
This is my favorite horror movie of the year.
Okay.
And it is a top 3 movie of the year for me. I'm ready.
Wow.
Ready. Well,
okay, so that means
third place was a horror movie.
Yeah.
What was
Third
it?
place was Sinners.
Sinners? Oh, yeah. Okay. And so now what? It's Superman F1 and this?
Yep. I'm ready for my heart to be broken.
That's base. Look. I don't even like, dude, I'm higher on this than Charlie, bro. Like Charlie's the one I'm gonna be scared of. I think this is still a really good movie, dude. I love the editing in this. I love the way that they tell this story. Like, I think that like at no point at all did that deter me from the movie. We talked about Burn After Reading, which, Ben, I am so happy that you said that you watched, because whenever I watched Burn After Reading, I was like, I'm a sucker for these movies where all these different plot lines converge into one and matter to the story. And the fact that you just on the off chance watched it before we did this review, that's awesome, because that's exactly what this is. I mean, the editing is great. I love it from a movie making aspect. I freaking love it. My problems come with the big Zach Krager issue, which is just turning it into a comedy. Just it got for me it got out of hand. I can see how that works for other people, and like that's why I say, like, dude, if you love it, I know that, like, if you're sitting in the theater and this movie is hitting for you, like, bro, you're going to have a blast. Like, I've seen it all over Letterboxd. I've seen it all over Twitter. If this is hitting for you going into that third act, you are going to have a blast. And it was for me. Like, I was going ham. I was like, this is great. And that's why I say, Charlie, this is going to be a very interesting discussion. I was loving this up until all the reveals. Up until Brolin and Garner pulled up to Alex's house. That was when the movie started to fall apart for me. Up until that point, I was like, man, I'm locked in. Like, this isn't even a horror movie. This is a thriller. This is a mystery. Like, this is hitting on every cylinder. The third act just completely, he just took a piss on the entire storyline with that.
You rated Barbarian higher than this movie.
I think Barbarian is a better movie than Weapons. And here's the reason why. Here's the reason why.
Am I tripping?
When I'm watching Barbarian, and I just said this, I love realistic horror. When I'm sitting there watching Barbarian and she walks into the basement and finds a room with a camcorder standing in front of a dirty mattress, and we find out that Airbnb used to be owned by this serial R-worder, like, dude, that is the most bone-chilling shiz ever. And again, the third act, it starts to get messy and it falls apart. There is so much more that I like in Barbarian, and so much more feeling that Barbarian brings out of me than Weapons does, and they have the same issue. It's only right I have Weapons lower.
See, I don't even view Weapons as a horror movie. I view it as a thriller that has like 3 or 4 jump scares. And if you,
I think
and
it's
the jump
a
scares,
thriller too.
the
Yeah,
jump scares, by the way, are the same every single time. It all revolves around one thing scaring our characters, literally every single time. Other than
it's
that,
great, bro. I'm telling you, I love the first. How long is the movie? 2 hours. I love the first hour and 30 minutes. I absolutely do. Like, I'm with you all the way up until the end. So, like, everything you're saying, where that you're explaining your reasons, bro, I'm right there with you.
dude,
1,000%. I think Gladys is such an interesting character. The way she just haunts the storyline. We have no idea who she is or what she's doing until we get that reveal. Like, that's all great. That's awesome. It's what they did after. It's the kid. I'm sorry, we're getting into spoilers. I mean, the movie's been out for 4 days. It's the kids. It's the kids. Well, by the time this is posted,
Sure, yeah.
it's the kids chasing her. It's the kids ripping her apart. It's Alex just saving the day somehow, some way by snapping the curse. Like, it's a lot of plot conveniences. It's Josh Brolin throwing a dude across the room 5 times, like for the sake of comedy, when it did not need to be comedic. Like that.
Crazy.
It just
It
gets
was funny.
messy.
It was funny, but
you just don't know ball. You just don't know ball.
Well, also, literally, like Pedro Pascal was supposed to be in Josh Brolin's role. Literally, cannot picture anyone but Josh Brolin in that role.
Yeah,
absolutely love it.
I can see Pedro doing it, but I think I'm glad that Josh Brolin got to do it.
I think Josh Brolin could have done it.
Okay, so Barbarian tells its story in 3 parts. You know, we start current day, and then we go back into the past, and then we come back and tie it all together. I'm a sucker for storytelling like that. So this, to me, the way that it did its storytelling, oh my gosh,
phenomenal.
And even sometimes where it's like it was going to focus on I forget the character's name, but the like random guy who steals stuff. And,
I forget his name.
James.
It's not Alex. James.
When it focused on him, I'm like, dude, why are we doing a whole section on him? And then I'm like, I see the vision now.
Cooks, yes.
And I'm also a sucker for like viewing the same scene from different angles. So the amount of just like overlap in the storytelling and whatnot to where like we're really telling a pretty compact story timeline wise for how quickly all of these events take place. I'm a sucker for that. I absolutely love that. And Barbarian does, something similar with its overlapping storylines going back to give you more context. For me, Barbarian goes super wacky and off the rails and still doesn't, like, to me, give us enough for the ending. Like, at some point it just becomes a wacky, weird ending when they're being chased by like the wild lady on the water tower or whatever. And they're just like, oh, she could never break into here. And she busts through the wall. Like, things like that are really, really stupid to me. And on top of that, like, I would point to a very big thing that, like, the emotional core of this movie and the characters in this movie are far superior to Barbarian. Barbarian, I'll give it to you, is maybe a little bit freakier for a girl alone at this Airbnb uncovering this. Like, I'll give it to you there. But having, the relationship with the teacher to her students, the public scrutiny that she's getting from all of the other parents, that emotional core is phenomenal. And then when you get to the section that's focusing on Alex, first of all, child actors usually not that great. Standout child actor performance. I just got to start off by saying that.
I agree.
But to see the journey that he has to go on because of what is presented to him and how he reacts to all of that, that's such a deep thing for a kid to go through.
Fire.
Yeah.
And like that to me far outweighs anything that happens in Barbarian. So for me, like, this is Zach Krager doing something that is less wild and also way more coherent than Barbarian. Fair. This just feels like a way more focused Barbarian. It's still crazy. It still has its moments, but this just feels like he refined what made the few things that made Barbarian good to make this movie great. And I will stand on that.
That's a good point. That's a great. I mean, that's a great point. It's a great perspective. And I'm not going to push back. Like, I absolutely love all the, like, I think some of the scariest or some of the most unsettling feelings that I get throughout this movie is seeing her drink so much because and seeing her drink so much and throw herself at Alden Ehrenreich's character, it to just help soften her grieving is rough. Alden Ehrenreich takes it in, but like, you know, she's being very flirty with a man who has a partner. So seeing her do that is just very sad and just like, oh, it doesn't make me feel good. Seeing Josh Brolin grieving as a father, that like hard hitting hurts to the core. Even seeing James just walk around being like, I hate, and that's the other thing. I hate that they turned him into comedic relief, because seeing him walk around being like, no, yeah, I got this job, like it's crazy, and pulling door handles. I'm like, dude, this is sad, bro. Like this, like I feel sick watching this. And then he's turned into comedic relief. But still, like during that moment, and this is what I like so much about seeing all of these different storylines, especially Alex. Like, I mean, obviously he's like, he gets the main slice of the cake. Every single one of these characters' lives is horrible except for Marcus's, and yet he gets the worst thing in this story to happen to him. And so I think that the way that's structured is really cool too, because they just show you a different piece of everybody's life and how they all converge into one. Dude, that moment where they're walking out of the hospital and he says, let me show you something, and we cut to them in the car, I'm like, oh my God, team up of the century, let's fucking go, we are here. Like that, I popped internally in that moment. I was like, this has the chance, like please land the plane. Like at that moment I was still going back and forth, but I was like, dude, if you can land the plane right here, like this is such a good moment. And then obviously they didn't, but I want to focus on the positives right now, in my opinion. But I want to focus on the positives because yes, I 1,000% agree. Like everything up to that point for me was cooking. Like I loved the journey more than the reveals. I loved the journey more than the end. And that's just I'm fine admitting that it might just be a me problem. But before I do that, I think we have to hear, because I'm here with you, Ben. Like I'm right. This man right here, I don't know if you've seen, he had he had facial expressions. So I'll pass it off to Charlie to give us his takes on weapons.
I think the way this story is told does the story no services whatsoever. I think that we're like, dude, we're bounced around to so many things that don't matter. They don't matter. He introduces so many concepts. So for for you to say that Barbarian, and granted, it's been a while since I've seen Barbarian, but to say that this is more focused than Barbarian is asinine to me. That is actually insane. When we're bouncing around to a story of potentially police brutality and a commentary on why police and what they do is technically bad. There's a floating AR-15 above Josh Brolin's house in his dream for some reason. Why are these characters having a dream about this woman they've never met before? Why do I care about? No, not why. Why do I care? Because I can understand why I care about Julia Garner's character drinking because of what's happening here. But that's when you introduce the fact that she's a serial drinker, she's a serial, she has a problem with hooking up with men. I guess not necessarily men, but just she could have hooked up. They said that she hooked up and got fired for hooking up with somebody at the last school, and so now she's clearly we're seeing that continue with, for some reason, this relationship with the cop is important for absolutely no reason. Doesn't make sense. The cop and everything, he's trying for a baby with this girl. That doesn't matter to the story. That this woman who sorry, I guess I'm going like full spoilers here, everybody listening. I'm sorry.
We already movie's been out for 4 days, like I said.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Aiden already said we're going spoilers. But this woman that is apparently the daughter to the, I assume, police chief is pissed about. We get a whole scene of her pulling up to Julia Garner's character and say, "Did you fucking? Oh my God, what does this matter? Well, I'm here for I'm here for these kids and what is happening here." So that's why I love the Alex chapter, and the last little bit of the James chapter. I think is great as well, with him actually going into the house and everything like that, dude. Not so many concepts are introduced into this movie that have no bearing on the story whatsoever. And it would have been cool if he actually did something, if they actually did something with them. Like, I think that they're cool things to talk about, but we don't do anything with them. We do nothing. They sit there. And sorry, I guess I like Josh Brolin's character, his storyline as well, with him trying to further unravel things. But I don't know, dude.
My immediate response to that, without getting too gritty into the details, is like the way that I view it for how they did storytelling in this movie is you had the end point where all 5 of these characters are all in the same place at the same time, and that's where it all comes to a head. And so for me, like when we go back and we're telling some of this story of, the whole day prior and bridging the gap between all of these things, I can agree with you that not all of the details actually matter that much. And some of these storylines or concepts that they introduce don't have significance to the mainline story, but it more so is, here is what this character's day looked like, how they got involved in the storyline we care about, and how they ended up in the place where they're going to overlap with everyone else. And we did that for everyone. And so in some of those instances, yeah, we're going to go back and we're going to start James's chapter and him, trying to sell stuff at a pawn shop is not going to have a lot of significance until, he sees the poster. Oh, he saw these kids in the basement. That's going
sure. The pawn shop stuff. Yeah, I won't complain about that.
But I'm saying that was the case for all of these characters, is like you had insignificant things, but then at some point there's something that happened because of that overlap that then led them to the place
I don't think the cheating on his girlfriend, I don't think that had anything to do with the cop story at all.
It does, because he wouldn't be so distraught and so pissed off at that homeless guy and chase him off of the premises because of everything that happened from a direct cause of everything that he gets from messing around with Justine coming into his life and everything with his girlfriend.
He asked the kid, do you have anything that's going to poke or prod me? He's like, nah, man, I'm good. And then he sticks his hand in a fucking needle that could have God knows what in it, as well as fluids on it. I'm gonna be pissed too. That has nothing to do with his girlfriend and everything that's going on in his personal life. It has nothing to do with that.
Hold up.
It doesn't have to.
That moment, the first time that we see him interact with James, where he sticks his hand and is stupid, that to me is the nature of his character, which is that he's a very kind of nervous cop or whatever. So in a freak reaction, he sees blood. And to me, he's like, just gut reaction, punch him. But I think the moment that Aiden is talking about is then later on, where after he had that interaction with James, he said, I don't ever want to see you again. And if I do, it's going to be trouble. Right.
Sure.
Then the whole thing with the cheating happens. He's frustrated. He walks by his father-in-law, if they're not divorced, whatever, his father-in-law, and he gets a certain look and he knows, his whole life is crashing out or whatever. He sees James again as James is coming to the police station to tell them about the kids that he saw in the basement.
Sure.
And then in that moment,
you're telling me he wouldn't have chased him off if the thing with the cheating didn't happen already. He told the kid to stay away, and they also No, I disagree. How you have not justified to me how him punching the kid has anything to do with him cheating at all. That is even with the way Ben described it. That is very much just an initial reaction to.
Backwards.
What do you mean?
I think I told you the first interaction, him getting stabbed with something. I think the punch, that's just in his character as more of just he had a gut reaction and he regretted it. I don't think that had anything to do with the cheating. I'm saying afterwards, the cheating happened. He walked by the police chief, his father-in-law, and he got a certain look from him. He's just pissed off. And now he didn't punch him after that. He chased. We're saying the reason why he walked out of the police station, sure,
and chased him off,
tied into it, but also just how pissed off and mad at life he was, which has to do with everything, not just his previous interaction with James.
You could very easily just also say that it's because he had that conversation with his father-in-law about how if that kid comes in here and complains, you're going to be in some real hot water. So. Of course, that alone is a reason for him to chase the kid off when he thinks what are we talking about? What do we need?
Because the way I see it is it goes as far as chasing him all the way into the tent, threatening him, getting stabbed in the eye, and then getting the information out of him. Whereas if none of that stuff happens with the cheating, with the father-in-law stuff, I could see a scenario where he goes up to James and he's like, I need you to leave. What are you doing here? Says he has information about the kids, gets the whole police force on it. Everything that's so extreme in his story happens because of when we first see him and he pulls James over and punches him in the face. Now, of course, that doesn't go hand in hand with the cheating, but that's who he is. That is the moment that we start the story of his character off. And then we start to see his character traits, that he's cheating, that his father-in-law is his boss, and all of it dominoes into seeing James at the police station, going as far as to chasing him because his life has already gone to shit, and he thinks in his head right now, this has gone bad. My father-in-law hates me. Now this dude is pulling up to the police station to probably rat me out. I need to chase him to the ends of the earth.
The one
Whereas
thing,
any other scenario, he would have talked to him and I think he would have reasoned, or like not reasoned with him, but he would have found out, okay, he's here for the kids. I'll let him go.
I still think he would have chased him, but
yeah,
I agree that in that moment,
that's fair too.
Everything else in life made him more heated and more angry to hop in that car, pissed off, immediately unplug the camera, and like you said, chase him into the woods, into the tent, if need be.
Yeah.
I mean, in the scene before he punched him, he chased him across the, like, I disagree with that as well. The one thing I'll give you as it pertains back to his life falling apart because of what he did with the cheating is maybe with with James and him saying that he knows where the kids are, he made brash decisions, and he's like, if he can show me where the kids are, I can get back in the good graces with my father-in-law, maybe potentially, and this can get my this could help me in some way. That's the one thing that I'll give you. But other than that, everything that you guys have said is completely it tracks with just him being brash and not making the smart decision right in the immediate moment. Because that's just who he is, and that as a character trait ties back to him cheating and jumping into Julia Garner's bed because he doesn't make the right decisions in the moment, drinking, relapsing, that kind of thing. But I truthfully, I just don't think that beyond the point that I agreed with you with, I do not see that making sense at all. And then the Josh Brolin thing with the gun, what was that? What was that?
I saw somebody say it is quite literally a weapon, because then right after that he says they are weaponized heat-seeking missiles.
Sure.
Talking about the name of the movie, whatever the weapons, and that an AR-15 is a weapon, and it just ties into that. And the 217 could tie like, hey, my kid left at 217. This AR-15 that's a weapon says 217. Putting that together subconsciously in his head. I really wanted.
Dream. I don't know.
I wanted to find
what. That's what I like. I feel like you can't say that, bro. Like you can't just throw that into a movie and be like, it's a dream. I don't know. Let's just toss it in. Like, you can't do that, bro. Like, what? You can't do that.
I think it was just the symbolism of all the kids left at 217, and then the whole like their weapons, heat-seeking missiles, and then him actually figuring out this kid left from here, this kid left from here, and trying to track that down. It's just, I don't know. That's to me, that's like, you don't need it deeper than that.
Am I? Can
I also
tell me if? Go for it.
Only thing because I also asked this, like, why are they dreaming about this woman they've never met? Who I would even, like, if they had already gotten an item of theirs that to control them, or if she got a piece of their hair to hurt them, if that had happened before those dreams, I would buy that. But that doesn't. They just dream about this random woman they've never seen, never met before. Why? How?
I'll be honest with that one. I will give you that because I think that is more so. I think that is more so for the movie's sake and the audience sake than it is for the character's sake. Or like I would almost even go as far as to say that, like, in these dream sequences or whenever we have these jump scares, like, the characters are not necessarily like actually seeing her and responding to that, as much as that is just like planting little things in the head of the audience, so that once everything starts to fall into place, you connect those dots. Mm-hmm. That's how I view it. Obviously, that's a bit of an excuse for the movie, but it's like Julia Garner's character. when she, pulls her covers back and gets into bed and then you see her on the ceiling. It's like, obviously she's not on the ceiling, right? Like that's just not a thing that actually happened. So I think that was more from a movie making perspective and less from a perspective of like, oh, she's haunting these people and she's, invading their dreams or whatever, or, showing up in their homes. Like, I don't think that's what was happening.
Well, sure, and I'd give you that if they didn't react to the woman, like,
which I don't think they did. Like,
Julie Garner wakes up screaming, and then so does he. He wakes up. He wakes up like, what the fuck?
He's like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Which I don't know. To me, at least, I wouldn't necessarily directly say that like their reaction is because of that, but I don't know. I could be totally wrong. Like, you could just point to the fact that they're having nightmares about these terrible incidents that happened or whatever. They're haunted by things. Like, you wake up in a sweat. I don't know. I can't justify it enough to give you a real reason, but to me, that was not a big issue and was easy to overlook because it was planting the seeds for what was to come later in the movie.
And also with the structure, you go. I already went, so you go.
Mine's an even worse cinema sins. So we have a whole scene.
Oh, I swear to God.
We have a whole scene of Josh Brolin breaking down, like going to somebody's house and breaking down. Okay, I see they both ran this way, like they're intersecting this way. They heat-seeking missile, right? Like we talked about. So every other house on Alex's block just doesn't have a ring cam and wouldn't have seen all 20 kids running down the street and said, "Oh, you know what? They're running that way. Alex's house is right over there, and Alex is the only survivor." That's not going to be in the police report. Like, they're doing this investigation for a month, and you're just telling me, like, and that's the thing. There were even like before they got to Alex's house, there were streets where 3 kids were running down across yards.
Yeah.
Would any of those ring cameras have would that not be something the police would investigate? Okay, these 3 are running. Like, I don't know if we see him do a whole investigation when he could have just went to any of those houses and pulled ring camera footage and been like, yeah, they're running right here. Yeah. I thought there was going to be like some alien stuff whenever he looked and saw that the tower was the direction that his son was running in, because he leaves the house for the second time and he looks and he sees the tower, and that's whenever he's like, wait, and he pulls all the papers out. I was like, oh, dude, we're about to get into like some supernatural stuff, like, a radio tower, like something crazy. And I don't know, I'm also just not the biggest like witch guy, like just witch doctors or whatever they are, like just black magic. I don't know. Like, now if it were a cult, I think that would have been sick. That'd have been right up my alley. I would have probably been a lot higher on the movie, but whatever.
See,
anyways.
My thing, like, because I mentioned this about Together, that like a concept that's executed well will bring me in. For me, this absolutely worked because inherently the concept allowed for that main emotional story beat of, we had all of these kids run away at 2:17 in the morning and run out of their houses. I mean, we said from the moment we saw the poster, from the moment we saw the trailers, we said, that's intriguing. I want to figure out why that happens. And so this for me is another example of like Together, where they gave me enough of an explanation. This lady's a witch, the blood, the whatever, she has and yeah, there's CinemaSins things that you could point out, which is like, when it snaps, what determines who attacks who and who does what or whatever, like
how they do things.
Like, okay, when she is with Alex's parents and she snaps and makes them start stabbing themselves with forks, it's like, okay, she's powerful, so she gets that. But then when Alex
does it for the kids,
it's like, what did he do in order to make that happen? I'm willing to.
Which, real quick, were they biting her, or did I see? Were any of the kids biting her or anything like that?
They were like
biting
and pulling. Yeah. So what I would say to that, as a defense for it, is like, whatever you're thinking in your head to hurt somebody. Like, so she with the fork, she was thinking, and kids, they just try to tug and yank on things. They'll bite you. So I buy that.
And they did say, in the scene where she's talking to Alex, she says to him, I can make them eat each other about his parents. So I, you know, a
like,
little
I'm gonna
bit
make them eat you, bitch.
yeah, a little bit to infer there. Maybe that was even Alex like having an understanding. And it could have
Yeah.
even been like wishful thinking as he's trying to make this ritual thing happen of just like, you know, trying to just do something in order, you know, it kind of comes to that pinnacle moment where something has to give. So that to me, it's like they gave enough of an explanation on a concept that automatically brought me in because it's an intriguing question. And for me, I know Aiden, you said that like you don't like how they landed the plane. One, I like how they landed the plane. And two,
I agree
I
with that.
don't know how else you would land this plane based on what this movie gave us. And you know, maybe you say they needed to restructure the whole thing, but based on kids go missing and Witch has the power to control people when she has some sort of remnant of their DNA, it's like
Just
how else do you want them to go? Like
no.
to me that it makes sense.
It wasn't what happened, it was how it was executed. Like, I'd have been
The kids
fine.
running through the houses, you didn't love that?
It
Dude,
just
I
played
love
off
that.
as goofy. It just played off
Yeah,
like
it
it
did.
got to a point to where it was just like you
My
could tell he
entire
was
theater was
doing it.
cracking up, bro.
That's what I'm saying. And I'm sitting
Yeah.
there and I'm like, damn, like I'm not laughing. I'm just like, oh man, like
Yeah.
I like what would have been so good is if she stayed in the house, Riley did that, or Alex did that, and all the kids just run up there and just start eating her and just pulling her apart and just pulling her limbs off. And like just straight seriousness, like have Justine and gosh, I forget his name, but have Josh Brolin and Julia Garner's characters sit there and watch that. Have him to have to take his son home after that. Like, be serious. Like, be a like. I mean, you don't have to be a thriller or a horror movie, but like, I don't know. I just wanted it to be serious and not just turn into a comedy out of nowhere. And that's the thing. Like, they walk into the house and they're all just cracking jokes. Like, I felt like I was watching like Thunderbolts, and then the Russo brothers post credit scene came up, and I'm like, "What the fuck? This is totally different. I've never seen the. What are these characters doing?" Like Russo brothers just stepped in at the end of this movie. But no, like they walk in and like Josh Brolin's just throwing him around, and like they're cracking jokes. Like I was like, my theater should not be laughing this much. Like, am I tripping? Like, am I not finding it funny? Are they just? And then on the way home, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about this movie all night long, and I was like, I really just did not like how they turned it into a comedy. Like, again, it's just that, like, grant they landed the plane perfectly fine. Like that was the thing you were supposed to do, right? That was fine. It just turns into comedy, and that's the thing. My buddy watched this at the Alamo, and Ben, at the Alamo, they play like a bunch of information before the movie that will pertain to the movie, but you don't know what will because it doesn't like get into spoilers. Like if you're watching Creed, they show like a bunch of old boxing stuff, and like I don't know. Sometimes directors sit there and talk about their movies. Apparently, Zach Krager was talking about how he was like, I think horror and comedy always go hand in hand. They are always supposed to go hand in hand. He's like, if you look in our past and you look at John Wayne Gacy, serial killer who used to be a clown, horror and comedy have always gone hand to hand. And I always try to implement that somehow, some way into my movies. And my buddy who feels the same way as me, he was like, I saw that and I was like, oh God, why are they showing that right now? Please don't tell me, like, why are they showing that? And then he got through the movie and he was like, yeah, I feel the same way as you. Because I told him, he was like, he said, how'd you feel about Weapons? I was like, it's good. It's good. And he was like, yeah, I agree. And I said, man, Zach Krager in that third act, man, it's a battle that will be fought for time. And he was like, dude, I rarely hear you criticize movies. I'm so happy that we feel the same on this. And yeah, so it's like he's doing it on purpose, it's not like, which is fine. That's his style. And maybe it's just not for me.
I don't see for me. And like, I think the thing that I can give you is that I think Barbarian goes for that tone and style just much more in your face for more of it. Like halfway through, it hits that tone. But even the start of Barbarian is pretty, like, it's a pretty serious thriller. It's just this girl and this guy that show up to the same Airbnb. It's a lot of just conversations. It's not very quippy. And then about halfway through, I think it finds its tone, specifically when Justin Long's character is introduced into the movie,
Nice
and it gets
cameo.
a little ridiculous. For me, though, like the tone of Weapons, like it didn't feel like the ending just went off the rails and became way too humorous and awful compared to the rest of the movie. Like I could give you that specific moments of James just getting thrown across the room 5 times. Like, sure, it didn't need to happen 5 times. I can give you that. Or with the kids, like with them chasing her down and just ripping her to shreds, like the amount of times they showed the kids just breaking through the windows of a random house or whatever.
No, it was like I don't have a problem with them eating her and ripping her apart. That was gnarly. That was the shit. It's more so that the chasing, her screaming and all of the neighbors reacting to it. That felt very deliberate. Where I was like, once the second neighbor reacted to it, I was like, okay, he knows what he's doing.
It just didn't bother me. I don't.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Like, I don't know if it's because, like, almost in my head, I go, obviously, it's a little bit for like the comedy of it, but in my head, I also go like, it's realistic in a way. Like, yeah, you have 17 kids running towards you. You're going to try to outrun them, right? So, like, it doesn't bother me as much because on one hand, it's like, yeah, it's fun. It's maybe a little overdone, but it's also like, that's what happens. A bunch of kids start chasing you and you're going to run away. Maybe in the real world, she only makes it a couple houses down and then that's it. And
I think there's just a way to make it not funny, like how Aiden's saying. Like there's a way to do it where it's just not like played for comedy.
And I don't know if honestly, this might be like realistically, this might be a thing that just comes down to like the psychology of how people view things. Like genuinely, like people's brains being programmed differently. And maybe I align more with Zach Krager than I do with you guys. But for me, like the comedy or the humor in the chase did not affect how visceral it was that they're ripping her to shreds. Like that I can have both of those things in conjunction with one another, and it doesn't ruin.
It just felt like such a backtrack of everything that the movie had already established itself to be up to that point. Like I said, I mean, that first like hour and a half, or where we're going through everybody's story and everybody's grief. Josh Brolin's wife walks in the room. I'm going to work. Leaves. Doesn't even say a word to him. Like this is some heavy, deep shit that we're dealing with, and we do that for the first hour and a half of this movie. We see some of the most unsettling, bone-chilling scenarios ever, and it's only until we get to James, which I believe James is the last one. We
Alex,
get to,
but yeah.
Well, James and then Alex, yeah. It's whenever we get to James is whenever it really starts to show signs of like, okay, you're starting to go off the rails a little bit, because that is what I had started to love so much. Because then we pop into Alex's story, and I'm like, dude, this is heavy. Like this is dark shit, dude, and I like that. I like it a lot. It's bringing
also,
feelings
side note,
out
we
of
haven't
me.
said. I just want to say the actress who plays the aunt, the witch, really great, fantastic.
Oh yeah, great.
I mean, everybody is great. We haven't even talked about Marcus, played by Benedict Wong.
Yeah, he was awesome.
I know people talk about those trailer moments. Those were even more wild than the amount that happened in the actual movie.
I just want to say when it was at front of mine.
Yeah, so my God.
Dang.
James is
it's gone.
I really made him lose it, man.
Oh my God. It's like James has started to go off the rails a little bit. Alex brought me back, and then the rest of that I kind of figured out, okay, that's what they're doing. But that's the thing. Up until then, it's just that wasn't what we established the tone of the movie to be. And then he just flipped me on its head, and I was like, all right, cool. If I guess this is what we're going for, this is what I didn't like with Barbarian. I guess this is just the style, and I'm maybe it's just not for me. I don't know. Yeah, that's why I am not the biggest fan of the comedy aspect. Not that it takes anything away. It's just,
thing for me. How does the teacher in the classroom not notice that any of the cubbies don't have their names on them anymore when she's standing right next to them? Like you're talking to the kid and the kid walks away even, and you just don't notice that the cubbies don't have any names on them, not a single one. And also, that's a CinemaSins thing, though. I said that. Calm your ass down, Ben. All right.
It is.
But something that I wouldn't classify as CinemaSins, but I also don't really think it's a huge knock on the movie. I think I just maybe didn't get it in the moment. But the stick that Alex uses to send the kids after the witch aunt, am I meant to believe that like that's the stick that she like dropped in the bowl of water or whatever? Because like it just looked like all the other sticks.
It comes from the tree. We saw him.
Sure, he took it from the tree, yeah. But what's like they didn't show me anything specific about the tree that's special. Like she was meditating with the tree, but is that stick the stick that she used for the kids? Like
my understanding is that's the tree of magic sticks that she pulls from. Like,
well, sure, okay, but then if that's the logic, then how did Alex control all of the kids? So let's say that's just a fresh stick.
That's what I was asking. That's whenever it gets to a lot of the convolutedness of like, how did he control all of those kids and send them?
Yeah,
I know he sent them on her with her wig, but how did he get all of them? Because
he needs a personal item
out of it. Yeah, that's when it started to get like.
Well, Josh Brolin got out of it when she died. Brolin got out of it when she died.
Oh, okay, cool.
But technically, the kid shouldn't be out of it until Josh throws the stick in water, which I assume he did. But
sure, yeah. Which is why, like, even when we see Josh Brolin pick Matthew up, like he's not out of it at that moment, like not right away.
See, well, I actually just chalked that up to because, like, after they're in it for a while, they kind of become brain dead, or they start to become brain dead.
Yeah, that too. But a little bit of both. But my understanding, so with the whole how do the sticks work, I would point to Charlie what you said earlier, which is just like whatever you think and are manifesting basically is what is able to happen. But I would say on some level that like whatever this like magic is that is allowing people to be controlled and then causing these things to happen, it all has to be connected somehow. So like you could chalk it up to like whoever the aunt has under control, then when Alex takes her strand and snaps it and wants her to be attacked, whoever is under control is going to start attacking. And then you could reason that with everything else. And you could say the reason why that didn't happen with Josh Brolin is because he already had a directive of what he was supposed to be doing, which was attacking Julia Garner's character. And so it's like, it's almost like a guide of like, here's what's happening next for this group of people who are under her control. So you could just chalk it up to like whatever this magic is that's controlling them is connected to this tree. And so it's not like you need necessarily new DNA every single time. I could be wrong about that. At some point they don't explain that to be able to piece all of it together. Sure. And you kind of just have
because then, I guess the parents were already after Alex too.
Well, that's the thing too. Like the parents, they say at the end like somebody's feeding them, but did they ever get broken out? And if so, why wouldn't they be rehabbing, or at least like? Why wouldn't somebody be trying to make an effort to get them back in?
I mean,
they were in it the longest is what I would say. Yeah. But that's the other thing I just don't really love is like there's not really like a definite time frame on like what is like. But that's a small thing. That's a CinemaSins thing. Like that doesn't ruin the movie or anything. It's just I would like a definite time frame or at least a somewhat of a time frame as because she like some of the kids started talking again. It also says in the last narrative like a year later, but like. The kids were in it for what, a month and a half, a month and a week?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He said he'd like to do a sequel. He has a story that he'd love to see come to screen. And so, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to more stories or more whatever in this universe. I also wouldn't be opposed to this being a one-off. I still think it's a really good movie. But yeah.
Did you guys hear how
Resident Evil next, right? I think.
Yeah.
He's doing Resident Evil. Did you guys hear how he wrote this movie?
I think I did, and that's also what makes me a little bit more upset about the structure of it, and like him not knowing where things are going.
Okay, so
What do you do?
what I heard is that he started off just with a concept, which was, 17 kids walk out of their homes at 2:17, or however many kids, whatever the number was, walk out of their homes at 2:17 in the morning. And he didn't know the why. He basically wrote 50 pages of like a little girl narrating this story of what happened, and he just started there and then figured out the why as he went, which I like. For me, and I know, Charlie, you don't like this movie as much as I do, I bring that up to say that almost any concept that you can think of, if you start out with a base concept of just here's the start of a story, you can get to a point where it turns out to be a great freaking story.
Oh, sure.
Like, that's what I would say about it, is that just proves that, like, you have the right person, take a little concept, you can make a great movie like this with it. And I know, for you guys,
my thing is just like introducing so many things that just they end up not mattering. Like, they just don't matter in the grand scheme.
I know we kind of like, we talked about that for a little bit and then we stopped. My only response to it was, one, I think there's some things that are more significant than you're giving them credit for. But then two, I still would point to, even if all of the details were not super important, it still was just, let's look at this person's day before they got involved with things, where they were at, the little bit of overlap that started to happen that led them to this house where everything is going to cross over in the end. So even if all of the little details, like towards the beginning of their storylines, weren't important, I still was able to appreciate everything that they brought to it, even if not all of it had to do with the main storyline.
I did that structure too. I just don't love that idea either, because then the moment where, after I'm sitting with a character for X amount of time, and then finally I get another inch into this grander story, this grander mystery, I'm then ripped back to the beginning. It's like, the closest I can liken it to is The Last of Us Part 2. I know you haven't seen the second half of it yet, Benjamin. So I'll be careful here, but Aiden knows what I'm talking about, like what happens in that story, and like when you switch perspective, and it feels like that, and that's one of the things I don't like about that game. And so it's like, I get to this point where I'm finally further progressing towards something that the entire movie hinges upon, and then I'm ripped back to the beginning of, it's like I'm restarting the movie almost.
See, for me, like, each time that we went to a different character, and like at some point you kind of understand that this is what they're going to do. Literally every single time it was a moment of, why are we doing a whole section dedicated to James? Why are we doing a whole section dedicated to Marcus? That question was in my mind each time the name popped up on screen. It was, why are we focusing on this character for a whole section? And every single time it provided more context and more details that made me appreciate more of what was happening, that built up and built up and built up until all 6 or whatever it was of these sections all overlapped in the very end.
Except with the Cobb.
Loved it.
Except with the Cobb.
He was in the end, dude. He was in the end. Come on.
Except with Alden Ehrenreich's character.
Like I said, sometimes all of those details were not super important, and they weren't, it wasn't absolutely necessary to have all of those details, but it was still, this is one of these characters that eventually becomes relevant to the main story that is happening. So let's follow this character. I mean, talk about Barbarian. The middle act of the movie that takes you super far back in time, all of a sudden follows this guy who is stalking this like mother and daughter and picking up supplies and whatnot. That first half of that middle section really is not important, other than learning about who this character is. Then we get back to the main house and learn why it's important for our main storyline. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Here's a little bit of context. Now here's why this character is significant.
Sure. And that's why I'll give you the what I said about with the junkie and hunting down the kids and not using his better judgment as to calling it into other units that could potentially help him. Like, I'll give you that. as it pertains to the cheating and everything. But I just feel like they showcased how he's a hothead, and those choices that he made do not contribute anything at all to this sideline story of him cheating on Donna and how that pertains to his relationship with his father-in-law.
Well, that has been Weapons 2025.
4.5 out of 5. By the way,
yeah, solid 3.5 out of 5 stars for me.
I love when Ben glazes, bro. I love when Ben glazes.
Dude,
he always be bouncing, bro.
2 big movie reviews in a row where me and Charlie are lower. I mean, that's crazy. I feel like that
yeah.
never
Sorry,
happened.
you guys don't have fun. Like, what are we doing?
Oh yeah,
I liked the
where
last act. The last act was my favorite part of it.
At for your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man? Where were either of y'all at?
Hold on.
You know what, Ben?
Whoa.
Actually, I'm glad this is happening to you now.
Whoa,
actually.
we both turned around on that show, actually.
Oh my god, dude!
I'm looking at Aiden's list right now. Bro has, oh my gosh, dude.
I don't think he's gonna put Ninja 2 up there. By the way, Aiden, I think he's gonna.
Bro has.
I don't even think it'll break top 5 for him.
Bro has the Naked Gun above Warfare, above Fantastic Four. Bro has Weapons below the Naked Gun. What?
Yeah, I mean, I had more fun with the Naked Gun than any of those movies. Like, obviously, what is a better movie, The Naked Gun or Warfare? It's Warfare, but I mean, it wouldn't be my 2025 list if I didn't add some of my bias in it.
I don't know. I'm just tired of always being correct with my rankings right here.
That is insane.
Yeah, I don't think either of y'all will be as. And I told Brandon, I don't think.
Look at that ranking.
I don't think this is the hype moments in horror ranking right here.
Seriously, bro.
He
puts Sinners up there as a pity pick, bro. He doesn't even like Sinners that much, bro. He doesn't want to be out of the conversation, bro.
Bro, go watch our review of Sinners.
All right, and with that, we are wrapping up. Next time we see y'all, who knows what we'll be covering, honestly. We'll see. Stay tuned. This is kind of, I mean, August is always kind of the month for the kind of die downs, and so we'll see what happens. We will be here regardless next week with another episode, no matter what the topic is, and be tuned here in a couple weeks for some Ninja 2 reviews. I think that'll be a fun episode. And that'll be a lot of good discussion. And I believe that's it. Check out everything in the link in the bio and like, sub, comment, do all that fun stuff. Leave a bunch of comments for whoever to host next week to read them, because hopefully they'll remember. And without further ado, we will see you in the next one. Peace.
Adios.
What?
Sayonara, Ben. Come on, hurry.
Adios. Adios.
Oh, that's crazy, bro.